The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians. Apply today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The city of Indianapolis experienced an unusual problem. Watch this.
People living in Indianapolis are on monkey watch.
Here's why. A pet monkey owned by a private citizen escaped. The monkey was last seen in Far East Indianapolis drinking a beer out of a trash can.
From the creators of Cocaine Bear comes Beer Monkey.
And it's time to commemorate the classic American combo. Today is International Beer and Pizza Day.
I thought it could be a fun family activity if we had a make-your-own pizza night.
Well, we could order Domino's.
Now, come on, this'll be fun. You can put anything you want on your pizza.
Yeah, I'm putting a Domino's pizza on my pizza.
A lovely cheese pizza just for me. International Beer and Pizza Day.
I drank a beer. I drank another beer.
Beer.
Beer goggles. See the world through the eyes of a drunk.
4 beers.
Oh, no.
5 beers.
No TV and no beer make Homer something something.
Go crazy?
Don't mind if I do.
8 beers. 9 beers.
Monday. You've got to be kidding.
Let's start the show.
Oh, man, can you believe this? Can you believe this right here? Welcome, everybody, to the damn 93X Half-Ass Morning Show Monday. Mon-effing day. Hope everybody's doing all right. I know the 5 of us all had plenty going on over the weekend. Football games and baseball games and partner swapping and all that. First off, I know old Josh over there, he gets pretty pumped come Halloween. He decorates the yard. He gives out full-size candy bars at his front door on Halloween night. He brutally murders drifters who cross his path this time of year. He gets really into the holiday.
It's probably my favorite holiday.
As it should be.
And I know
I haven't started decorating. I haven't purchased any candy bars, but I've killed a lot of drifters already.
Right. And that's the reason for the season.
It really is, isn't it?
It is.
And I know that over the weekend, you were planning on hitting up some big, fat Halloween haunted house over there at the Mall Plus America, Buckethead's Revenge or
Close,
whatever.
Onion Head's Revenge.
We've been running ads for the joint.
We have. I went and saw it Friday night. Ashley and I got to spend a little time together. She had a promotion. Yep. And I had heard, so we went to the earlier show. I'm not a vampire. I'm a human being who needs to go to bed at a reasonable hour.
Of course.
Yep.
And Ashley, I had heard after we left, so you did the later show.
Yep, I went in at, probably like 9:30.
That's disgusting. That's the scariest thing that could happen at that particular haunt.
It was late.
And I heard they really picked on you.
Yeah, they did. They went all in for me, which was really cool. I've never had that kind of experience before at a haunted house. So it was a lot of fun.
It is fun. It's different than some of the ones you may have gone to in the past because it's a story and you're trying to figure out exactly what's going on. I mean, it's a interesting story. The actors were awesome. And I'm not just saying this because they're advertising. I just wouldn't say anything if it was bad. But the actors were a lot of fun, cool dudes, a lot of listeners, some of those actors.
Involved in the show?
Yeah.
Shout out to Cletus. I liked him.
Yeah, Cletus especially. He was scaring the hell out of people when you're waiting to get in. And they went after my buddy's wife because she was the perfect target. She's very tall. And so she stands out anyways. And they could tell she was terrified. She didn't really hide it. And we tried to tell her, hey, you got to pretend you're not scared. That this is what they're coming after you for.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, the whole time she was getting it. I got it a little bit. There was one guy. It was my fault because I kind of joked with this guy. This bigger dude was in one of the hallways. And we had almost a relationship with how much he was pinning me up against the wall. I'm doing my best to get out. And you're not supposed to touch him, right? They're not supposed to touch you. So I'm trying to get out of his, basically an embrace without touching him.
You guys are nose to nose.
Yeah, so, we're dating. Honestly, even a friend of mine's like, That was a long time he had you cornered there. And then I got out, and he got me again.
I figured you'd pick up some ass at the Halloween setup there.
It wasn't what I was expecting as far as the ass, but it was cool.
But you'll take anything at this point.
Yeah, and we did the Monster Pass. It's a little more expensive, but I thought it was worth it because you get to go into some extra rooms, and you learn a little bit more about the story.
An extra bar. That's the most important
An
part.
extra bar?
Oh, that's true.
Yep.
There's the speakeasy in the middle.
You get to go to a bar halfway through.
Stop and get a cold one before. Does this setup pretty much take up an entire floor? I mean, how massive?
I think it's
of
the old Sears.
Oh, wow.
I think that's what it was.
Well,
It's an old anchor store.
Mhm.
It's like 40,000 square feet, I thought they said.
That's a big area, yeah.
Oh, it's giant. And it takes a while to go through because there's so much stuff. Yeah.
So are we talking like scary holograms?
I didn't see any holograms that I remember.
Oh.
A lot of jump scares mostly. There was one of those rooms where they put all the smoke, so you can't really see what's going on,
you can't
under
see
4 feet.
Jack squat.
That always freaks me out when they do that.
Oh, and then they start grabbing your ankles and
Well, they
stuff
can't
like that.
touch you there.
Oh, yeah.
It's
so
no touch.
I'm walking, doing my thing, of course, terrified, on edge, and my boyfriend out of nowhere hides and grabs my ankle. I thought, this is it. This is how I go out.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see? I'm sure you saw, Ashley. You went through it, where you go through the birthing canal, basically.
Yes, yeah. I don't like those either because
Well, we've all been there once.
they make you. It's so claustrophobic. Oh.
Yeah, it was kind of.
I remember it being that way, yeah.
I remember thinking, I don't really understand what's happening here. That was one thing. I didn't really get why that was there, but it was basically, I don't remember being born, but like most people. But it felt like that's probably similar to what occurred.
You were reborn
48 years ago, yeah.
Josh, did they have the hot Halloween babes who are supposed to be scary, but you fall in love with them?
There was 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there was 2 of them there for sure.
We had that experience together at some haunted showdown years ago where we were attacked by Halloween babes who were working for the scary show, and all they did was steal our hearts. My God. I mean, they were covered in blood and gore, but yet they were just so... it's tough to explain. Some of you listening understand.
You know who likes to have fun? Small Pecker from Becker Jesus. He always texts in something douchey. Apparently, Halloween's not a holiday. I apologize. That was silly of me to say it. I don't know why I said that.
Are there people who are sticklers for that?
I guess so.
You can't. Why can't we call it a holiday?
I don't know.
Because no one gets a day off?
We celebrate it. Yeah, I guess I don't know.
What's the guy's name again?
Small Pecker from Becker Jesus.
Shut it, bro.
I guess, yeah, it's actually not considered a holiday.
Who gives an F?
No one gives a rat's ass.
Interesting. I never knew that.
We already got.
You know what else? Nobody cares.
Right, no one cares. Hey, Small Pecker from Becker, we already got a couple listeners who bother the living hell out of us with their know-it-all texts. We don't need a third. Quit being so squirrely.
Did Onionhead get his revenge, by the way?
What's that?
Did Onionhead get his revenge?
No, he didn't have time because my friend's wife used me as a human shield, and I'm not even joking. She grabbed me by the shoulder. She basically pushed me into him, and then we ran out. She's holding me by my shoulders. I had no chance to see. He looked cool. He comes out at the very end.
Oh, his face is messed up.
Yeah, well, from what I could tell, I'd say the nanoseconds, that was about it.
But questions about this gig, about this show. Is it 18 plus, somebody wants to know?
I don't
No.
believe so.
I saw some kiddos go through.
Young people?
I think you have to be 10 or older. But I guess maybe look it up on their website.
Well, Small Pecker from Becker probably has the answer. He'll be,
text us. And make it douchey in some way.
And he'll tell us whether he thinks it's right to have young people there or not. Remember when that scary clown, when we walked through that one setup, Josh, years ago, and that scary clown called you a bitch?
A laughing bitch.
He called you a laughing bitch.
Yeah, I was just talking about that Friday. That was, because when right before you walk in, there's like a scary character, right? And she's got a scary voice, and she said something, and I thought she said to my wife, "Look out, bitch." Right in the beginning.
This was Friday night?
Friday night.
Okay.
Right before, but it was basically, I can't remember exactly what she said, but it wasn't that. There was 2 of us that thought she said something to the effect of "look out, bitch."
Oh, wow.
And she handled it very well, and it turns out that's not what she said. Yeah, it's cool, though. It's different. Yeah, I mean, it's very similar, right, to a lot of cool haunted houses, but it's different because there's a story. Is there story on the website?
I'm not sure.
The
I
only
imagine so.
The only criticism that I'd have is that I wish the story was a little more obvious. But we figured it out, and Ashley had described it very well. Do you mind describing it now?
So Onion Head was, I guess, not the cutest little kid, and so he was bullied a lot.
Dana and Wapple can relate.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That's a nightmare right there.
Yeah, get their ass kicked up and down on the school bus. Go ahead.
I guess he was like a little weird, just a weird kid, and so
Sure.
a girl went missing, and the whole town turned on him and claimed it was him that made this little girl go missing.
And now it's time for him to get his revenge.
Well, no, so they like cut him up into 13 pieces.
Oh, they didn't cut him up.
Yeah,
They
it's
did.
messed up.
Chainsaw.
Yep. So then,
Gonna make your ass raw.
No wonder this guy wants his revenge.
Exactly. And his mom was like, no, I don't like that. And like put him back together basically and got all witchcrafty.
That's right, because it's in Louisiana.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the rest of the story because Josh just quoted Fred Durst. They used a chainsaw. It'll make your ass raw.
And you know
Well,
what?
I'm glad you
Porcelain Punisher Jesus brings up a good point I can't believe I didn't bring up yet. Ashley is a part of the experience.
A part of the experience.
You get to see her on TV in a very real-looking news report.
Yeah, they did a great job at making it look real.
Well, so did you. You were awesome.
Thank you.
How many takes did it take, though?
A couple. Yeah, a couple. I'm not really good at remembering lines like that, so it was funny because you had one person holding the camera, and the other person was trying to get, as eye level as possible to the camera with my script. I was like, oh gosh, you can tell in some of the, if you look really closely, you can tell in some of the scenes my eyes are darting around.
Listeners are texting in, what's the name of this joint? It's called Onion Head's Revenge, and it's at the Mall Ad America.
Yep, it's on the second floor in the southeast wing.
They got a website or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like they have the story online, too.
Oh, do they?
Yep.
Great.
AmericanMonsters.com is the website if you want to check it out.
I would recommend.
American Monsters.
Yeah, again, my criticism would be it's not as obvious as it should be. Maybe the story is clear. So check it out. Check out their website for the story, because I think that really adds to it, as you go through and solve mysteries and stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm glad you guys finally made it over there, because I know the both of you were pretty pumped about that show.
Yeah, it was great.
Did some parts of it, was it kind of like an escape room?
There
Or
was
it just a haunted house?
There's a couple parts where it's a little mazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I hit some dead ends, actually, and I don't know if that was just... I don't know if you were supposed to do that or if that was just me being dumb, but there's a couple times where I was in a room with no exit.
Okay, that's a good point. That might have been us being dumb too, because there are a couple where, but then the actors are good going, pointing or doing something hauntingly to show you or kind of have you follow them.
Have any of you gone ahead? It seems like these days all there is anymore is escape rooms, pickleball, and axe throwing. That's all we do anymore.
I play pickleball Saturday, as a matter of fact.
And you're a terrific pickleball player.
I have gotten much better.
I'm glad to hear that, because you made a steady player even from your very beginnings, but now you've got a little more practice.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was fun.
What's your Diplo score?
That's funny. Who was it that was just telling us about that?
Didn't we talk about that last week?
On Friday,
That was after the show.
Yeah, Duper score.
Yeah, that was after the show, right?
Yeah, it was. That was an off-air conversation.
So have any of you done the escape room? Someone just said something about you have.
Yep.
No, I've always wanted to, but every time I pass one, it's just me and one other person, and they say I can't do it with only two people.
I have zero interest in such things, but I do have a pretty decent story about some friends of mine. A while back, they went and signed up for one of these escape rooms, whatever they are. I've heard this and that, but I don't know much about it. But they're trying to get from one room to the other, and I understand sometimes you have to find a special switch to throw in order to get you right. So my friends are in this particular room. They're trying to escape that room to the next, and they tell me there's cameras on them. So the staff at the escape room can maybe help them out if they're totally clueless, right? Did you have that experience too, Wapple, where they're watching you?
Yeah, you had so many hints that you could get, and then they'd phone over an intercom. Hey, stupid, look up in the corner.
Right. They'll help you if you need it. So I guess the story I'm told is that my buddies are completely thrown. They have no idea how to get out of this particular room. and one of them cracks open something on the wall, and he's peeling apart some this and that, and the voice over the intercom says, "No, gentlemen, that's a utility box. You're not gonna want to. Please don't fist the utility box." They cracked open the.
It's got to be this fuse. No, that would actually shut everything down.
I've never been too excited about one of those escape rooms. I don't really have any plans. And then I saw a bit that Conan O'Brien did talking about how dumb they are. And it just seemed like he's probably right.
We did one at my last job. It was kind of one of those promoted, we filmed the radio doofuses doing the escape room and stuff. And it was a submarine. We had to get out of the submarine before the nukes launched or something like that.
Well, don't get out of it when it's underwater.
Well, you know what
Good
I mean.
advice.
We had to disarm the nuclear bombs or something and get out. Anyway, we do it. We escape at the last second, and the entire time I was playing with this light monitor that was this detailed puzzle that I was trying to solve. And we get done. They're kind of walking and say, "Okay, yeah, you did that right. You did this right." I'm like, "Well, what about the video of the light board that I was doing?" They're like, "Yeah, that's just a decoy to distract the dumbest person."
Yeah, you're like a moth. You just saw a light and went for it.
It's got to be this thing, guys.
Everybody else was doing productive things, and I was just messing with this light board that I thought was going to save our lives.
At the end of it, I was talking to the guy, and I'm like, "So how far away were we to escaping the escape room?" And he's like, "Oh, you guys were really close. You only had to do 8 more things in 2 more rooms." I'm like, "Close, dude. That seems like a lot of things that we missed out on."
They sound real creative, when they go through something like that. But I don't know. There's just something about it that doesn't really appeal to me.
Oh, man. Is it that time now for all the supposedly creepy stuff to be included on the show?
What do you mean?
Well,
yeah, we're getting there, I guess.
Is it close enough? I don't want. The reason I ask is I never want to be the guy that gets all Christmassy too close to Christmas. I never want to be the guy that gets too Halloweeny too close to Halloween. You hear people say, "Oh, Menards already has their Easter stuff." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Christmas stuff has been up for a week or two at a lot of the big retailers.
It has, yep.
So. Someone, Cubby, gave me the green light. You're cool talking Halloweeny stuff? It's not too soon?
Yeah, it's me and Small Pecker from Becker's favorite holiday.
Okay, and let me ask you this. Do aliens count?
No, I don't think so. With Halloween?
I mean, you might see an alien costume.
Yeah, see, I've always thought that alien stuff should be kept separate from
more
Halloween.
sci-fi.
Yeah, I don't really associate the two, Halloween and aliens.
I never like to, but every once in a while, I think I got a movie channel on my $8 cable setup right now. I got a movie channel right now that's, and has been, I think, since October 1st, steady showing Halloween movies. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the other night, it was a triple feature. It was, I don't know. I mean, I think I have the correct titles. It was The Sixth Sense, followed by It, followed by Aliens. And I thought that didn't fit. That didn't work.
No.
I was looking at a list of the best Halloween movies, and they included Karate Kid on there because there's a Halloween scene where they're dressed up as skeletons.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
I was like, this is the dumbest thing. The internet has gone too far.
That's a friggin' massive reach right there. You know what that is, Cubby? That's a reach around.
That really is.
You don't call Karate Kid
That's a dry reach around.
Well,
just a dry, just no lube whatsoever reach around.
I'll skip the alien stuff then, and I'll just cut to this. And it's as basic as it gets. We'll start very basic. Friday the 13th, they call it. America says it's the most iconic horror movie.
I could see that.
Friday the 13th, the original from 1900 plus 80.
Yeah, I could see that or Halloween, one of the two.
We're going to have a Friday the 13th this Friday.
We sure as heck are.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be cool.
Oh, my God. What's going to be so cool about Friday?
It's just cool that it's actually in October.
That's all it takes for you at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. There's there's one tie involved here in the top 7 most iconic horror movies. And these are all pretty good. Pretty good. Number 7 would be The Exorcist. And I just realized this. I saw the ad last night for the new Exorcist movie. What are they calling this one, Cubby?
I forgot. Exorcist something.
And it's supposed to be a sequel to the original from 1973, right?
Exorcist Believer.
There we go.
Believer, which is an Ozzy Osbourne song off of his Don't Tell Me I'm Right There. It's off of the Diary of a Madman record,
That's
I believe.
correct. Yes, it is.
So this just dawned on me. The lady who plays the crazy girl's mother in the original from 1973 is in this fresh one. Did anyone else recognize her?
No. Nope.
Yeah, my damn, it's been a lot of years, but there she was. In the fresh Exorcist movie, they show the two demonic kids kind of rocking back and forth, and then they cut to, she's an old lady now, I mean, a lot of time has gone by. They cut to that actress, and she says something like, I've met him before, or I've met them before. It's the lady from the original. So number 7 is The Exorcist. Number 6 is Night of the Living Dead from 1968. I love that one. Number 5 is I don't know why I let myself get aggravated, but I do. Enough with the Nightmare on Elm Street.
That one never did anything for me either.
Yeah, why is that given?
I liked it.
I liked
Yeah,
it.
it freaked me out.
I thought it was dumb as hell when I saw it in 7th grade. Freddy Krueger.
It's definitely cheesy, but yeah, I thought that was kind of fun.
Freddy Krueger messed me up.
I hated that because I never wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
What did I say? Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger from 1984 is number 5. There's a tie at number 3, and that would be between An American Werewolf in London, 1981, and the original Halloween, 1978.
I couldn't get through American Werewolf in London.
Too gross?
It was just kind of slow. First time I saw it was a couple of years ago, and I just thought,
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember when I was a young kid, I liked it a lot. I already told you number 1 is Friday the 13th. Number 2, love the movie. I could watch it anytime you put it in front of me. The original Carrie from 1976.
Never saw it.
You'd love it. Sissy Spacek, did I get the name right? Yeah. Scrawny as hell. Plays the main character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen like the main scenes, like, in highlight videos and stuff of gross scenes or like a lot of blood.
You don't have to validate yourself, Wapple. It's okay.
No, I'm glad you did.
John Travolta with his hot girlfriend. They're mean as hell in that movie, John Travolta and his hot girlfriend. And the mother, of course, is so unnerving, scary.
Going back to Nightmare on Elm Street, I always liked that movie because he always had good quips or, sayings and stuff.
I hated when Freddy had jokes.
Oh,
I did.
I loved the one scene, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," and then he comes out of the TV.
I agree with Ope Wrong Hole Jesus, who says Hubie Halloween is the true #1 Halloween movie of all time.
That is such a cute Halloween movie.
Hubie Halloween?
Hubie.
I've watched it 3 times.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, you should watch it. You'd love it.
Yeah, you'd love it.
I forgot. Who's the main star? It doesn't matter.
It's really great, though.
What a good people.
It's a cartoon or?
No, it's a movie. I think it was Netflix.
Halloween. I'll look it up.
Yeah, you'd love the main actor.
I think so.
Oh, so it must be Sandler?
What? No. I don't remember.
Well, if you're gonna dive into silly, kids Halloween stuff, America also picked the top 7 family-friendly Halloween movies. If unfortunately you're in that situation where you got to sit down and entertain children,
that's tough.
Some of those are pretty good.
All right, well, tell me. Number 7, it's The Great By Damn Pumpkin Charlie Brown,
Loved
1966.
That's
awesome.
OG.
Try to watch it every year.
I don't know how, it's probably been decades since I've watched Charlie Brown, but I always liked the guy. Number 6, Halloween Town, 1998.
Oh, yeah, I love those. Those were a huge part of my childhood. I've already watched those a couple times this year.
Number 5, never saw it, Beetlejuice.
Never seen it either.
Man.
I get
So
so much
good.
crap about not seeing it, too.
Never, 1988.
Love it.
So good.
Number 4, Corpse Bride,
Oh, sure.
2000 plus
that was
5.
okay.
I don't know that. I don't know any of
I've
these.
seen it.
Oh, I guess except for it coming up. Number 2, tied at number 2, Casper, 1995. Ghostbusters, 1984.
Ghostbusters for sure.
Casper's huge for kids that grew up in the 90s.
Yeah, loved Casper. He's so cute.
He had like a big comeback in the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I always thought Casper was a 60s guy.
Christina Ricci was in it. She was one of my childhood crushes.
Geez. I didn't know Casper was around for that long.
Christina Ricci.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the end of your list?
What?
That was the end of your list?
No, I got
There's a number one.
Why, Wapple?
I think I know it, and it's my all-time favorite movie.
Say it out loud.
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Wrong!
That's a Christmas
Hocus
movie.
Pocus.
Oh.
That's funny. People are texting in on saying, if The Nightmare Before Christmas, is that a Christmas or a Halloween
It's
movie?
a Christmas movie. It takes
I
place
think it's-
after Halloween, doesn't
But it
it?
starts in Halloween.
So dumb.
Never saw it!
They get
And then he
gifts.
goes through the door, and then he meets Santa Claus.
Halloween
and he comes
Town.
back.
There you go. He
Who
beats
said
Santa.
Hocus Pocus? Who said that?
I did.
Never saw it, and neither one of those are correct.
Really? Huh.
That actually surprises me. People
Number
love
one
that.
is not Hocus Pocus. Number one is not Nightmare Around Christmas or whatever you guys are saying over there.
The bad guy's name is Oogie Boogie. All right, that's a Christmas or
Halloween movie.
I
You
don't know,
confused
man.
yourself.
I don't know.
Number one
Boogie.
is something Ogie Oglethorpe. Number one is something from the year 2009. Number one is a program they call Coraline.
Oh, that movie is actually really disturbing.
It is disturbing. Yeah, that I don't understand why that would be number one on the list.
Tell me
I
about.
don't get that.
I like disturbing. Tell me what's disturbing about
It's
it.
just like really creepy vibes. The
Ooh, explain the
characters
creepy
have,
vibes.
Like it's a cartoon, but all of them have like button eyes. It just sits weird.
Wasn't that a Tim Burton movie too?
I
sure.
don't think so.
No, it was a Henry Selick movie.
But I do remember
Whose name I
sitting,
just learned for the first time.
Oh, he's got a
sitting
cool
down with
mustache.
my niece to watch it, and she was so excited to show me it. And as I'm watching it, I was like, "This is like, I don't know if I want you to be watching this, or this to be your favorite movie."
They stab each other to death, or what? Just because they're dolls with button eyes?
And no, I think it's kind of sad too. Like I'm pretty sure the main character is like kind of depressed.
All right, I'll have to see it for myself. I'm not getting the creepy, unnerving vibes from you, but
Another children's movie that was depressing. Up. Oh.
That'll make you cry.
Yeah. First
I watched
10
in
minutes will get you.
Xfinity the other day.
On the topic of whether or not it's too early to start talking Halloween from
Yes.
I'll Always Walk with Elias Jesus, he said, Walmart thinks I want to put my Christmas tree up while eating turkey in my Halloween costume.
That's fun.
yeah, they want to cover all the bases, don't they?
Hey, they get me though.
Oh.
I'm the sucker that's ready to buy a Christmas blanket.
Go ahead. You go ahead and get that Christmas blanket. It's just going to end up mopping up vomit anyway, the way you party.
Probably.
And blood.
It's going to turn into a
More
sex
likely
blanket.
blood.
You're gross.
It's going to be a sex blanket.
You can't have sex on the Christmas blanket, Ashley. Come on.
You gotta get in the holiday spirit.
Baby Jesus would be so upset with you.
Here's the deal. She's Monday morning. Boy, like I said, there was lots going on over the weekend with the local college ball club. They had a terrible night on Saturday, and then you got your Vikings. They did probably better than most expected. And then the Twins.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're going to get into all that with Randy Shaver a little later. For now, we'll take a little break. And remember, Josh said there was a chainsaw. I've been sitting here cracking up about that. We'll be right back on the Half-Ass Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
And now is a great time to join their team. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians, dedicated to improving the work-life balance of their employees by providing benefits that include parental leave and 401k match. Apply today at standardheating.com.
We're all juggling life, a career, and trying to build a little bit of wealth. The Brown Ambition Podcast with host Mandy and Tiffany the Budgetnista can help.
I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I'm here to tell you what I would do, which is I ain't filing for bankruptcy. Unless I owed $1 million, something crazy, then I'm like, that makes sense. People be filing for bankruptcy for some old $10,000. No, there are other alternatives to filing for bankruptcy that won't curtail your ability to make money. You want to know some of them? Here you go. There's credit counseling.
Brown Ambition.
Wherever you listen.
stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, you stupid bastards. I'm going to get myself organized here. I got it. I think I got it, Cubby.
I knew you would. Dana wasn't sure.
Just message Josh that I don't think he's going to be able to get it together.
You know, earlier I was jaw-jacking up and down. I don't like that Nightmare on Elm Street is included. Not that horror movies is a big passion of mine, but I don't like that Nightmare on Elm Street is always in the top 5 all-time great horror movies list. I don't get it. Freddy Krueger was stupid. It just doesn't hold a candle to things like The Exorcist and The Shining and
Ernest Scared Stupid.
That is a good one.
I like, even some of the early Halloween and Friday the 13th before they got too silly. Texas Chainsaw. There's no reason.
It.
But here's the deal. I did get a text from Overly Optimistic. You love what?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. Overly Optimistic Vikings fan Jesus said if there's one good thing that Nightmare on Elm Street, the Nightmare on Elm Street movie series, gave us, if there's one good thing, it was the song Love Kills by Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Man, what a great song. He's right about that. But man, I was never big on Mark Slaughter's voice. It was always a little too much for me.
I agree.
But that's a beautiful song.
There's a couple songs he nails it, though. That's one of them.
Do you guys want to go to Wisconsin Dells Friday, November 10th for the Slaughter concert?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Is it? What's the lineup? Does it say?
No, it doesn't.
Is Mark Slaughter still a part of it, I hope?
Yep.
He must be.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, so they're still touring. Josh, I bet you it was 7 or 8 years ago I saw them at a festival. And it was not good.
He's got one of those voices where you could predict it's probably not going to hold up.
What can you do? When you're 27 years old, you can blast those high notes. He's not a kid anymore. I ain't mad at the guy, but it was not good.
I mean, as bad as a couple of other notable bad voices from that generation. I don't want to call anybody out.
Oh, I'm fine calling some people out. You mean like Vince Neil and Don Dawkins?
Bingo.
Yeah. it was about that bad.
I can think of another one, but it pains me to say it. He was in studio. It didn't sound good at all.
Oh, Stephen Pearcy?
Yeah.
You know who else everyone tells me that he can't sing anymore? John and the Bon Jovis.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that you could Google that. You'll find tons of articles on that. I heard the show here was absolutely terrible.
I saw Snapchats, and it was not good.
I mean, to the point where some of these articles are saying the rest of the band needs to tell them, dude, you just can't do it anymore.
Time for an intervention for old John, I think.
You're smoking cigarettes and drinking hooch and crushing ass for 40 years. Your voice isn't going to hold up. It happens. So they're playing in Wisconsin, you say, huh, Wop?
Mm-hmm, that's the closest show.
Oh, the other Nightmare on Elm Street, we just mentioned Dokken, Dream Warriors from the Nightmare on Elm Street series. All right, let's get going with the stupid news. Last week, I think it was last Wednesday, there was that National Emergency Alert System test on everybody's cell phone. Everybody's cell phone started screeching, no matter where you were or who you are. And also, on a side note, at least temporarily, it turned Josh into a government-controlled zombie.
It did.
I remember that, yeah.
He was talking about killing the Queen. He was talking about killing Frank Drebin from Police Squad.
It was the nanoparticles that it activated.
That's. I was just going to say, it was the nanos.
I think maybe if somebody looks hard enough, I think we have audio of Josh wandering around talking about how he must kill the Queen. Anyway, for most of us, it was no big deal. Our cellular devices got loud as hell for a little while, and then it was over. This is cute. For folks in prison who were trying to hide cell phones from the prison guards and whatnot, the big old nationwide cell phone test became a big problem. You can't have a cell phone while incarcerated, don't you know?
Sir, why is your buttocks making a giant screeching sound right now?
A New York State prison official went ahead and said that they confiscated 2 phones at a joint called Sing Sing Correctional Facility during the test. I'm sure most of you have heard of Sing Sing, even from a movie or two.
That's a pretty well-known one.
A Stony Lonesome in Florida also said they confiscated a couple of phones during the emergency test. It's unclear how many prisons had a problem with cell phone screaming. And it's, I kind of got to a kick out of picturing the inmates who had a phone and weren't aware of this test. That probably surprised the hell out of them.
God, yeah. Definitely.
You jump right off the...
Yeah, I guess I don't know how plugged in you are on current events when you're in the lockup.
You know, the fellas are braiding your hair or whatever they do when they have downtime, right? And then all of a sudden that thing goes... You know, I know a lady who went to prison for a little while, and she said within a couple hours, she had no say in it. She was sitting in a chair while the other ladies braided her hair.
It's like coming back from Cancun or something on spring break.
What is happening now? A source in Nevada on the subject said that most of their prisoners were already aware that this alert was going to happen, so they likely switched off their phones so they didn't get busted. Cell phones behind bars have become a growing problem, according to the story here. Yeah, I bet they have. I bet they've become a problem. How am I supposed to watch a couple of OnlyFans MILFs urinate into a salad bowl together if I don't have my cell phone?
Mm-hmm.
Some joints, some prisons have even been bringing in the dogs, Cubby. The phone-sniffing dogs.
Yeah, the electronic sniffing dogs.
Oh, okay.
You've heard of the electronic sniffing dogs?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you hear about it regarding sniffing for hard drives for some terrible stuff that somebody might have on a hard drive.
Is that right? I'd never heard of phone-sniffing dogs. They call them E-dogs.
Oh, that's cool.
Like my buddy, well, you know, Josh knows my buddy Ernie. We call him E-dog.
We used to work with a P-dog back in the day.
Nice.
It wasn't so nice, Dan.
No, it wasn't.
Nope.
Is that why I haven't heard of the guy?
Did you know that he took a month off of work because he hurt his ankle?
Oh, bummer. How did he
He
do
works
that?
at a radio station. He's not a running back.
Right.
God, I know a guy who once took a day off in radio to go get hair replacement. Can you believe that?
That was pretty lame, too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Does anyone know anybody who can top this? A dude in Pennsylvania picked up 2 DWIs in 17 minutes.
That's impressive.
And he was on a tractor.
That adds to it.
It does. Anyone know anyone who can top that?
Nope.
I did have a friend in college who got 2 minor consumption tickets in 1 hour.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he got busted at a party and thought, well, you know, I'm already drunk. I already got a ticket. Might as well let it ride. He goes down to the next party. The next party gets busted. He gets a second. He tried to show the cop, no, I already have a minor. I got this one at the last party, so I'm good. You know, he thought, you know, you can't, like, double jeopardy. Mm-hmm. The cop was just like, no, that's not how it works, pal.
Oh, man, I had a buddy in high school who he just, terrible luck. Anytime the cops came to a party, they pinched his ass. It was funny because he was an athlete, and one day he's walking down the hallway in school with his leather jacket on, and he's reaching into one of the pockets to try to find his car keys, and he goes, oh, what the hell? And he pulls out a minor consumption ticket that he forgot to acknowledge. It was like his 5th or 6th already. He's like, for God's sake, I forgot. Now they're going to be looking for me. What's happening now? Dude in Pennsylvania picked up 2 DWIs in 17 minutes on a tractor. He was driving a 1974 International Harvester 4000 series.
Sounds cool.
And he had a few too many, by God. The first time the cops got him, he tried to flee the scene of an accident. According to the local cops, there he was on his International Harvester. He and a Toyota RAV4 were at a stop sign, and the tractor man backed into the Toyota. And then he tried to up and get the hell out of there. The Toyota driver followed the tractor man, and the cops eventually got him. So that was his first Dewey of the night. 17 minutes after he got released by the cops after the first D-Dubski, there he was again, putting down the same road as before on his big ol' International. So the cops went ahead and dumped another one on him. A police investigation is still ongoing, they say. Nice work, Dildo. I know a dude who got 2 Deweys in, I'd say 6-7 hours.
That's still impressive.
Yeah. He got one about 9 o'clock at night, and then he got one 3-4 in the morning.
Dang.
That was high school as well. Oh, in a little Russian town. It was just an ordinary day. And then next thing everybody knew, there were vaginas all over the road.
It sucks when that happens.
Oh, not for all of us, Ashley.
Hundreds of plaster casts of vaginas, believed to have been on the way to an art gallery, fell right on out of the delivery truck and onto the road after a car accident. Video footage is up and around on the internet, and the video shows a trail of sad, broken vaginas all over the road. In the video, you can see the truck driver, who couldn't stop with the sly grin on his face, trying to clean up all the road vag.
I got to say, a lot of them look like mouths. I don't know if I would have realized right away they were vaginas.
I don't think I would have. Mm-mm.
I've mistaken the two in the past. The truck driver got her done. He picked up all the plaster punami, and then he got the hell out of there.
Okay, so like watching the video, correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't look like this stuff is like in boxes. It looks like it's just like loosey-goosey.
They are loosey-goosey.
You have to remember...
Those are loose vaginas.
That's interesting. They just like throw them in.
Loose vaginas box. I see what you're trying to do here this morning. You have to keep in mind, Ashley, this is Russia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything they do is sideways.
True.
Yeah, the impression is a bunch of drunken criminals. That's kind of the impression of Russia.
Yeah, that's the vibe they give off.
Here's apparently a historical fact in the story. It says vaginal art was pioneered by a British sculptor by the name of Jamie McCartney. He went ahead and made a 26-foot tall thing called the Great Wall of Vagina, which was made out of plaster casts taken from over 400 lady penises. The Great Wall of Vagina. He put this together on purpose.
I wonder how he got all those people to agree to something like that.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe he's in a band or something. Ashley, do you know any of the ladies whose gear was used for that vagina wall?
No, I'm
It's
looking it up
400
now.
different women. I didn't know if maybe you knew at least one of them.
No, maybe. Like chances are I do. Oh, it's pretty cool.
More historical information here. Kiss fans know that the song Plaster Caster.
Ooh, Love Gun, 1970s.
Exactly, fourth song on side 2. The Kiss fans know Plaster Caster. The song was written about a famous rock groupie who made plaster casts of rock star dongs.
Oh, I've heard about that woman.
I think she died not that long ago. She did. She went ahead and died.
The good ones always do.
The plaster's getting harder. And my love is perfection.
Trying to remember her. Cynthia, she had a nickname. Was it just Plaster Caster? Was that her nickname?
Yeah, that's her name.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's her full name.
Are you serious? That's what? Cynthia Plaster Caster's her full name?
Yes, that's what I'm seeing on Wikipedia's.
She changed it legally to...
Yeah, it's got to be a name change.
Yeah, so people would remember her.
She died in April of 2022, so not too long ago. You're right.
Yeah. All right, we got proof here. Proof that the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show Stupid News Research Staff, otherwise known as Josh, scans the globe to find the most bizarre nonsense available for your entertainment. The globe! I said. For example, this here next story originates from Nigeria, a town called Gwagwalada, Nigeria. Anyone ever been?
I have not. Never been in the region.
Gwagwalada. It's a bizarre story. By damn, so much so, all I think I can do here is read the story as is and we're going to have to try and figure out just what in God's name happened here. We're going to try to figure that out together as a family.
That can be fun.
Absolutely. I hope so, Ashley. A man has been arrested for allegedly stealing a woman's breasts. The story says this woman's boobs were stolen at a local bank. Police in Gwagwalada arrested a man. They identified him by the name of Solomon. They say Solomon is responsible for the disappearance of this gal's cans inside the bank.
How shocked would you be if you walked into a bank with your breasts, Ashley, and walked out and had no idea where they were?
I'd have a lot of questions.
I mean, that's never happened, has it?
No, not yet.
Oh.
Maybe I should be worried.
You can't be too careful. Lock them up.
A woman by the name of Janet. She went into the banky bank to deposit some monies. So the story says here, the woman was in line to make her deposit. She claims that this Solomon dude who was standing behind her in line, he brushed against her shoulder and her boobs disappeared. Poof.
That really happened.
Witnesses say that the woman, again, her name is Janet. Witnesses say that Janet then got all dizzy and collapsed, and then she hollered out that someone had stolen her jugs. One of the bank's staff members immediately brought Janet into a private room so a female security guard could investigate whether or not Janet still had her sweater cannons. Word is, Janet removed her shirt, and the security guard saw that indeed her tatas gone.
Nah, you're flat. Flat as a washboard.
So they called the police.
Well, she is now.
The cops showed up. They found Solomon. And he returned Janet's cantaloupes to her. That's the end of the story. And as you can imagine, I have had a very difficult time trying to figure out what in the name of the Lord has happened here.
Yeah, I've never heard of a story like this.
Same.
And I hope this doesn't keep happening. You gotta lock this Solomon guy up. What would he do with him? Out of curiosity.
Strap him to his own chest and have a hell of a fun day, I would imagine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Beads.
Motorboat the hell out of him.
I have to know what happened here. This isn't from some, wackadoodle website. This is from a legitimate news source from the country or whatever they are of Nigeria. What are they? Are they a country? I don't follow these things. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this was actually printed. Professionals put this together. This was just.
You need more information, yeah.
I got a little story here about Harry Dick Road.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe some of you have taken a ride on Harry Dick Road. It's up there in a town called Eganville, Ontario. Harry Dick Road appears to be a dirt road. Have any of us ever taken a ride down a dirt road?
No. It's not my thing.
I'm fine taking the dirt road now and again. I don't enjoy it as much when it's muddy.
Yeah, you got to keep your windows up, too. Otherwise, it gets pretty dusty.
Okay, someone fill Wapple in on what we're doing here.
He's not following the metaphor. Yeah.
Wapple, there was kind of a bit going there, and then you went.
The Hershey Highway, Wapple.
Okay.
I don't get where you guys are going.
Just take a break. Take a break.
Go for a soda.
Wapple, let's pray about this. Harry Dick himself, the man. Remember the stories about Harry Dick Road. I got Harry Dick himself right here in the story. The man who had the road named after him. He still lives on Harry Dick Road. He and his wife. He was born on that road by God. He's older in the hills. He'll likely die on Harry Dick Road. More or less where we're going with this is that Harry Dick himself is tired of punk bastard derelict sumbitches stealing the road sign that says Harry Dick on it. And he just wants some peace and effing quiet.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty popular.
I can imagine.
A lot easier than stealing a woman's breasts.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's tough. That takes finesse.
Yeah, I want a sign. That'd be cool.
A Harry Dick sign?
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Leave these people alone, Ashley.
Tack it up in the basement. Get some laughs out of it.
Harry gets the joke. He does. He just doesn't think it's that funny anymore. He'd like the thieves who keep stealing the road sign that bears his name to grow up.
It's not even funny anymore, guys.
Yeah, that would get old.
His real name is John Henry Dick, but he's gone by Harry his whole life. The Harry Dick Road sign has been disappearing at a rate of 3 or 4 times a year ever since the town propped it up there 35 or so years ago.
I've heard those aren't cheap, too.
No. I just looked up Harry Dick Road on a map.
Is it curved?
No, it's a straight dick. But it intersects with Scotch Bush Road.
Wapple has
That's
no
good.
idea where to go with that. The town has tried greasing the pole to deter thieves.
Wapple, you started that when you were about 13 years old.
Oh, yeah. Lots of sessions.
You got that one.
You call them sessions.
The town has also reinforced the base of the Harry Dick sign to prevent people from ripping it out of its moorings. The Dick family considered, this sounds kind of serious, they considered electrifying the pole?
That's extra, but
I wonder how much trouble you can get in if somebody got hurt. I mean, I don't know if it's enough to hurt you, but...
oh yeah, what if somebody wasn't trying to steal the sign?
They got a pacemaker or something and it explodes.
They installed a camera to catch thieves. That was stolen too.
That's pretty funny.
Insult to injury.
Yeah.
Tough to go through the footage when they steal the camera,
That
too.
sucks. That's sad.
Now, Harry Dick's old lady, Lois Dick, she said, I think they're a bunch of idiots, the kids who are stealing the signs. But they're also very smart. They don't get caught. But what can they do with these signs, she asks.
Yeah, you put them in your garage.
Have you nothing better to do, she says? I'd be really ashamed of my children or grandchildren if I thought they were doing something as idiotic as that.
Well, they probably are. You just don't know about it.
They might have to go ahead and rename Harry Dick Road.
That's not cool.
No. But people like Ashley, they don't care. They want to hang it. Look, it says Harry Dick. This man's going to be dead soon. Show him a little respect. But we found out last week she doesn't have much respect for the dead.
No, I do not. Especially the old dead people.
You think it's really funny?
Don't get me wrong. I don't like old people at all. I don't.
Dead people.
Do you think he has his own sign? Do you think he's ever stolen one? Or
What?
They gave him one?
Oh,
Since
so
he's
he
named
just
after
has
it?
one?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm not following where you're going with that.
If you are a street gets named after you, do you get a sign?
Like they grant a
So
key to the city.
I bet
so
they
you're
do.
saying it's okay if you steal the Harry Dick Road sign because he's probably got one in his house already?
No, I was just hoping that he did. Before they stopped using it, hopefully he got his one.
Another sign in town for Hussy Road keeps disappearing too. Hussy.
Boy, that's a word I haven't
sounds
heard in a
fun.
long time.
I love calling people hussies.
Floozy. Hussy.
Yeah, that's good.
Hussy.
Charlatan. A charlatan.
That's like something my grandma would say.
Yeah, my mother says hussy once in a while.
It just sounds like this town's asking for it with all these creative names.
Oh, so now you're blaming the town?
Yeah, I am.
And we are changing it to Bald Beaver Lane. Now our signs are safe.
You'll never steal it.
The young people don't get it, Dana. They've got no respect.
And nothing to do.
It would be funny if Harry Dick actually did have his own street sign in his house, like Ashley said. Somebody broke and stole it.
Yeah, he just can't win.
They got every Harry Dick sign.
There's an open safe there. The money all still in there. They just took the sign.
Friggin' old people. All right, one more, Skis. Still bothering me how this lady had her boobs stolen and then returned to her. Still bothering me.
How's that happen?
All right, finally, if you've got a friend or a family member in Nebraska who is one-legged and that one leg is on the left-hand side, you should call them and tell them that they should expect to be arrested soon. Thieves in Nebraska broke into a vintage shoe store and stole $20,000 worth of shoes, but they were all left-footed shoes.
That's got to be a real bummer.
Yeah.
After you make all that effort.
We've talked about wacky-ass robberies like this before. Thieves rob a shoe store. They don't realize that most stores only display one shoe of each pair and keep the other one in the back. And that was the case here at this vintage store, too. It's unclear how many shoes they got. But like when I say vintage store, this wasn't a thrift store. They sell, quote, vintage exclusive sneakers and hard-to-find items. So I guess, I don't know, old Air Jordans and old this. I don't know anything about shoes.
There's a big collector's market for that kind of stuff.
There's surveillance video of the theft, but the police are still looking for the thieves.
Shoot, I wonder how much money in shoes our boss has.
Yeah, that's the first person that came to mind when I heard the story. I'm like, well, he was just out of town recently.
Doesn't he have, he's got like a whole closet dedicated to shoes.
He does.
That's so cool.
Sneakerheads is what they're called.
I want a pair that light up. Why should infants only get those damn things? You know what I mean?
I've seen teens with them at the mall. They still have some of them.
I want a pair that lights up so when I walk home from the bar, nobody runs me over.
I want a pair of Heelys and then probably a discount at a hospital.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Dude, Heelys is so sick.
Man, you see some of those folks just wheeling around? I don't see them as much as I used to.
I never tried those. Did you ever try them?
No, I've never had a pair.
Wait a minute. You, Wapple, did you wear wheelies?
Heelys? Yeah.
What are they called?
Heelys.
Heelys.
Yeah, my stepson had some, and he rocked those things.
Because I was always a pretty good roller skater or rollerblader. Here come the jokes on the text machine. I bet you I could really whip around town on those dealies.
Heelys?
Heelys, whatever the hell they are.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
4 pitches, 2 outs. Here's Pena towards short. Diving stop, Correa. Trying to get his counterpart, Pena. He got him. What a way to finish Game 2. Correa getting Pena. And we've got a series. A split in Houston. Off to Minneapolis we go.
We're pretty fired up around here over the Twins. This town is going to come un-effing done tomorrow. Absolutely undone for Game 3. We shouldn't be working the next couple of days. I like this text message I got from a listener earlier. Hell yeah, Twins. Worst home plate umpire I've ever seen. That dude was iffy last night. He was iffy. You had no clue what was going to be called a ball or a strike last night. No effing clue. I'm really surprised that both benches didn't go after this guy a little more. He was just, there was zero consistency. And I'm usually the last swinging D that whines about umpires. I really am. But what a great game last night. Carlos Correa and Pablo Lopez were the stars of the show. Twins won 6-2. We got all kinds of time in about a half hour when Randy Shaver jumps in with us to talk about this win. But I think just about any friggin' Twins fan in town, you ask any of them, they're pretty satisfied with a split coming out of Houston.
Absolutely.
Coming back home skis. The Vikings couldn't quite get her done yesterday at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll cover all of this, up and down, this way, that way, Josh, north, south, east, west, kind of a thing. In a half hour. Josh's news is coming up next.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
And now is a great time to join their team. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians, dedicated to improving the work-life balance of their employees by providing benefits that include parental leave and 401k match. Apply today at standardheating.com.
You loved Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now get to know her on Give Them Lala.
I used to be so down with dudes giving me pet names right off the bat. The second a dude, I first meet him and he calls me baby, I'm like, and we're done here. Goodbye.
Really?
Yeah, don't call me babe, baby, boo, bye.
Interesting. That's
but
a big
I
red
can
flag.
call them boo because I call everybody boo.
What if that's their excuse?
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, you don't. You're a man. You move different than me.
Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
The individual was found to be naked in his car, pleasuring himself in the parking lot.
Ooh,
hell yeah.
Gross. Way to go, Wapple.
Sorry.
Police in Michigan are on alert after 3 men have been spotted masturbating in public while fully nude in a Detroit suburb.
That's something to basically keep to yourself, behind closed doors. What the
is he doing?
All 3 incidents happened within a week in Dearborn Heights, the report said. 2 of the incidents happened near schools, and a police spokesperson said it's unlikely this is a coincidence. In fact, he said it could be related to a social media challenge.
Oh, no.
And police are on high alert for anyone else following the trend.
How can this be?
A little over a week ago, a 45-year-old man was caught masturbating a block from Annapolis High School. He was arrested and is facing charges. The next incident happened days later when a man was caught on video while masturbating in a blue Honda CR-V in the parking lot of a middle school. He opened the door, revealing he was fully nude, and then started jerking off.
Oh.
Then a day later, a man was seen masturbating while fully nude with the car open at a local park. 3 different guys in 3 different locations, but one common theme, they were jacking it the same week.
You know, anytime you get these reports of something very similar like this, yes, there is no coincidence.
So we've reached this point with social media. Truly, people will do absolutely anything to get noticed on social media.
Investigators continue to look into the theory. Some kind of online forum is encouraging guys to pleasure themselves, specifically in Dearborn Heights.
I want to say we've been fortunate. Nobody's been, victimized or kids, but that's just by sheer luck, and we don't like playing by sheer luck. I have zero problem telling you that there are unmarked units in these areas and some areas that we have some intel on, and we're going to keep pursuing that.
Even though the incidents have so far all occurred in the same place, police say neighboring cities are on alert as well.
So stupid.
Wow, Dearborn Heights. Thankfully, we all changed our mind on the topic of living there years ago.
Do you guys dare me? Do you dare me to do it?
Here's another place maybe to tell your agent to skip. A local park outside of Atlanta is being terrorized by dozens of sex-crazed people copulating in broad daylight on top of picnic tables, prompting police to launch a sexting operation to stop the amorous Atlantans.
Would you want your family to see you behaving like this in a park?
We're not going to tolerate such acts in our city with the youth that are there trying to play and have fun and disrupt family lives.
To answer the guy's question in the beginning of that clip, no. I would not want my family to know about something like that. Police received hundreds of complaints in the last few months from outraged residents reporting people engaging in various sex acts at all times of the day.
Talking 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 11 p.m., and that's not what we want in this park. I wouldn't send my wife, I wouldn't send my kids, I wouldn't send any minors over into that park at night, or during the day for that matter, unless I was with them, like a hawk.
Where's this joint, Wampa? Where's, pardon me, Josh, where's this town?
Atlanta.
I think the people in Dearborn Heights, Michigan would trade places with the people in Atlanta right now.
Probably.
At least they're partnering up.
Yeah. Although it is at a park, again, a place where kids are going to go, probably a bad call, like in the last story with some schools. But we had, I thought it was bad at our park. Someone keeps knocking over the porta potty. So we've kind of got like a poop soup going on there permanently lately.
Dude, gross.
That's so uncool.
I'm sorry you're going through that.
I'll take the possible E. coli over this any day. I'll tell you that much. The park has apparently emerged online as a place for strangers to meet up for a public tryst.
We've been setting up surveillance in the area, but also the use of social media and some of the sites that they use for meetups. We've been monitoring those as well. That's my major concern is for the kids. They don't need to see this kind of stuff in public at all.
So far, nearly 24 arrests have been made.
Wow.
What began as a routine traffic stop in Ohio turned into a brief high-speed chase, crash, and arrest. And the suspect, a former Northeast Ohio mayor who tried to flaunt her former position to avoid arrest.
What? They never do that.
66-year-old Kathy Lux, a former mayor in North Royalton, was pulled over for a routine traffic stop early Wednesday afternoon. But as the officer tried to explain why he was stopping her, she appeared disoriented and uncooperative. The officer asked her to pull into a parking lot for safety, but she said no, and then said why. The police officer said, because you're going 43 and a 25 and your plates are expired. The former mayor also couldn't produce her driver's license. Instead, she appeared to have ignored the officer's commands, rolled up her window, and sped off. But the high-speed chase was short-lived when she lost control of her vehicle during the pursuit and it jumped a curb, crashing into a tow truck. Oh. That's convenient. As she was ordered out of her car and handcuffed, then placed in the back of a police cruiser, she said, "What you're doing is wrong. Let me tell you how it works."
You know what? You know what? I was the mayor of the city of North Royalton.
Oh, on your way, ma'am. The ex-mayor is now charged with operating a vehicle while intoxicated, speeding, open container in a motor vehicle, and driving with expired license plates.
Let me tell you how it works, she says.
A 74-year-old school bus driver in Connecticut was arrested after ramming a taxi 5 times with 9 students and a coach on board. The taxi had 1 minor in the vehicle. The incident took place during dismissal. The front of the school bus repeatedly struck the rear of the taxi multiple times, police said. Both vehicles left the scene without reporting the incident, causing both drivers to get into trouble. The bus driver was arrested and faces several charges. The 69-year-old taxi driver also arrested. Thankfully, no injuries were reported.
5 words for the kids on that school bus. Times of their effing lives.
Yeah, I bet they loved it. 5 times this guy crashed into the back of the taxi. I'd love to know. I read several stories, and none of them said what prompted this.
Yeah, I bet those kids are in the back. Yeah, again.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Bus driver.
Bet you can't do it a 5th time.
When your bus driver decides to play bumper cars for real, that is, I never experienced something that cool.
A Long Island school bus driver's been fired after being photographed boozing while driving high school students home on Wednesday.
It's a regular thing. If he's so blatant with it, it's regular.
I think it's a disaster. I mean, I have a kid that goes on a school bus, and that's pretty scary, yeah.
The driver was seen drinking an alcoholic beverage while driving the students.
I think it's crazy, and it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, that's not good. Not at all. Yeah, especially with the kids on the bus.
It's terrible. It shouldn't happen. My daughter's a teacher, and she would never allow that.
Once aware, the district intervened immediately, and the bus company staff met the driver at a middle school where he was due to pick up more kids.
A message from the school superintendent says, "This afternoon we received a report of a bus driver drinking an alcoholic beverage while on the route to bring students home from High School West. It was confirmed that an alcoholic beverage was on board, and the driver was promptly taken from the bus, and a different driver completed the route."
A sober bus driver, as the gentleman said there, took over while the drunken one was reported to police. All indications suggest he was drinking a White Claw while driving.
What's up, dude?
A teen was arrested Wednesday after a false bomb threat was made at a Florida Catholic high school. The caller's phone number was traced back to Germany, though because the caller knew unique details about the school, investigators believed a student at the school may have been involved, and it turns out that was the case. After police received help from the FBI, the caller was eventually determined to be a teenage boy, a friend of the student. This boy was living in Germany.
Police say the male student was arrested for criminal solicitation of a threat to discharge a destructive device. They say the caller left a voicemail saying a bomb was in a room and would explode.
Detectives said the teen explained he'd been instigated to make the threat by a student at the high school because the student didn't feel like going to school that day. However, he only knew the student's nickname, so I'm guessing they're probably gaming buddies.
Internet pen pals, yeah.
The detectives said they were able to use the nickname to identify the student as a 14-year-old boy who attended that school where the bomb threat was made.
Smart move, son.
A Dollar General employee is accused of stealing and helping her boyfriend's grandma steal over $1,700 worth of merchandise over several weeks because she said she has a hard time saying no to other people. That's a good one.
Yeah.
The company's regional asset protection manager said 22-year-old Haley Eubanks, an employee at the Dollar General location for about a year, has been taking merchandise, pocketing money, and helping her boyfriend's grandma shoplift. In surveillance video shown to deputies, Eubanks can allegedly be seen taking products from the store shelves and issuing refunds to herself on multiple occasions. She's also seen helping her boyfriend's grandma steal 3 shopping carts full of items. After Eubanks was arrested, she told deputies she has a hard time saying no to people, specifically her boyfriend's grandmother.
I understand, yeah.
Then in St. Louis, a woman was shot by a coworker inside a Family Dollar last month following some sort of heated dispute. The victim told police she and another employee, later identified as 22-year-old Maya Blankenship, were in an argument when she walked away. Police said Blankenship then pulled out a handgun and shot her.
What do you guys know about the dollar store? This is why I bring it up. Am I missing something, or am I friends with like the simplest guy on planet Earth? Because a friend of mine is absolutely pumped that a dollar store is opening in our neighborhood.
They rule.
Love the dollar store.
All of our cutlery, our plates, bowls, glasses, everything is from the dollar store.
It's a great deal, yeah.
Yeah.
They
Really?
hold up pretty well.
Well,
Yes,
I'm
cleaning
excited
supplies.
now.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Like hand soap, cleaning supplies, all that stuff.
Well, that is exciting. Now I'm excited, too, because I couldn't figure out why this friend of mine was so jazzed over a damn...
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
He
They got
direct
good
quote.
snacks too, Nick.
Yeah,
Direct quote, he said, I can't wait for that place to open. And I was left kind of confused by
Ooh,
that.
especially a new one. Ooh, that is exciting.
Yeah, they got a lot of good candy, too.
God, you guys are all so horny for the dollar store. My God.
Well, not all of us are rich like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dana.
Single guy, disposable income,
New
lots
hair.
of Nintendo stuff.
hair.
New hair.
The rest of us are walking around with our original hair.
You can't afford the new hair and not everything but a dollar store.
Old, boring-ass hairs.
I can't even afford Five Below, where it's $5 or less. An Alaskan bank robber who was caught immediately after his heist while counting his loot outside the branch. He just couldn't wait. He was nabbed again last Monday, trying to rob the same bank. 49-year-old Michael Nash, who can't learn a lesson, was swiftly taken into custody for carrying out the failed scheme that closely resembled his fumble from 5 years earlier. The botched 2018 burglary earned him a spot on the dumbest criminals list after he slipped a teller a demand note with his name and birth date scrawled on the back. It does not appear that
Good Lord.
Nash included his personal information on the note this time around. However, he did take too much time admiring his ill-gotten riches directly outside the bank, which gave cops the easy collar. The supervisor immediately yelled for the bank door to be locked via secondary locking mechanism and called 911, but Nash continued loitering in front of the branch. He was too excited.
What the hell's wrong with this guy?
In another instance of robbery gone wrong, a gang of wannabe thieves accused of attempting to steal money from a Chase Bank ATM across the country, or ATMs, I should say, apparently learned how to get the money from machines by watching YouTube videos. After being caught, one of the men told the FBI that they all watched videos on YouTube on how to rob Chase ATMs by pulling them using a truck. By the way, the truck they used was one they stole by learning how to hotwire a vehicle on YouTube.
Oh.
You can learn how to be a criminal on YouTube.
You can find anything on YouTube.
It's like the dollar store. You can find anything.
Although I've watched a few videos of fellas try to crack open an ATM by towing it around town with a pickup truck. And
World's Dumbest.
well, that could have been where I've seen it too, Wapple. And I haven't seen it work yet. Those ATMs are tough as hell.
They are.
Yeah,
So I'm surprised to hear that it worked for somebody.
Yeah, and World's Dumbest, I always saw it. World's Dumbest Criminals, I always saw them try to load it in a pickup truck and then drive away with it with chains. And nope, that never works.
Let's pull the bumper off.
Sometimes they pull the bumper off and it hits one of them in the jaw, and then they're in real trouble. They got to go to the hospital now.
A woman apparently threw thousands of dollars in loose bills at a man on an airport runway after the couple was escorted off a plane in the wake of a fierce argument during a fight. Fellow passengers said trouble flared between the couple when the plane was about 5 hours into the evening flight from London to Thailand on September 30th.
Oh, that sounds miserable.
They said the couple had a loud, drunken argument about money. One witness said the man kept saying, "She's got my $6,000 in her bag." As the argument escalated, the pilot told passengers that for safety reasons, he's going to have to turn back and land in Vienna. On the runway, the woman can be seen throwing cash at the man. The money landed all over the tarmac before the man, as well as airport workers, stopped to pick it up. And he was right, it was $6,000. In other airline news, a Southwest Airlines flight attendant is going viral for barring a passenger from boarding after seeing her doing drunken cartwheels at the airport. Too drunk to get on her plane.
Too drunk to fly.
A man was arrested after shining a green laser at deputies at an aircraft late Thursday night.
Come on.
Another one of these dorks.
Again.
According to the Manatee County, Florida Sheriff's Office, at about 9:30 p.m., the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport Air Traffic Control said a incoming aircraft had green lasers being shined at it.
Watch, be advised, they just hit us with a laser.
3 North 71, I don't know what he has in his hand. He has a laser. He's lasering us.
Yeah, we saw it. He pointed at us, too.
Still refusing to get out of the vehicle. We have felony charges.
As the department's helicopter was responding to the incident, another call came through regarding a laser being pointed at a person. When deputies arrived, 35-year-old Nicholas Clayton shined the same laser at them.
They're taking him into custody now.
Clayton was arrested and charged with pointing a laser at a driver and a pilot and resisting arrest. Today on Hulu, The Mill. A businessman's life unravels into a nightmare when he wakes up in an open-air prison cell with no memory. Monday Night Football, the Las Vegas Raiders host the Green Bay Packers. Then on the CW, the first season finale of Son of a Critch. Minnesota comedian and actor Nick Swartzen, 47 today. Writer, director, producer Guillermo del Toro, 59. Jewish Jesus looking for a shout out to his family in Israel. He said he finally got a hold of them this morning and glad they are safe. Glad to hear that. Congrats to Tree Master Jesus starting a new job today. Shout out to Red Wing Dorito Jesus. Today's his Friday, gentlemen and lady.
Nice.
Dang.
Heading up to Ely for some grouse. Good luck. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
Got a fat ass and a bad attitude.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Had a completion to Oliver, who's considered a blocking tight end, but he fumbles the ball and the script continues. They have been a disaster in the first quarter this year, coughing up and turning over the football, and it starts today on the very first play of the game. Oh, fake! To the up back. They're going to have the first down. It's Chandler we talked about earlier that won the Kevin O'Connell and told us watch out for him in future years.
You got a shot to Jefferson, one-on-one up top if you want it.
In zone, and it's caught by Addison. Jordan Addison, the rookie from Southern Cal. Complete. Madison with the touchdown. Minnesota. Cousins rolling out. He's not going to get a chance. Dano ends it. Mike Dana swarms, sacks, and finalizes the game. A Chiefs victory, 27-20.
Difficult to lose, difficult to be 1-4, and there's a lot we need to improve upon, be better.
Very much a disappointed locker room right now. Didn't get off to a very good start, with putting the ball on the ground there on the first play. We get an opportunity to go win a division game next week on the road. It's going to be a challenge for our team. We got to get our minds right for that immediately.
Right on. Let's bring Randy Shaver up in here. Hello, ass man.
Good morning.
Hello.
Brad Ryder is not feeling well this morning.
Oh, too much celebration after winning dad fights on Friday.
Yeah, he went on a bender last night.
He's going to sit this one out. Randy Shaver, last Friday you were talking about how she was going to be a big one, a busy weekend for those who sniff jocks. We're going to hit every last bit of it. We'll start with the twins. I said earlier, I think nearly every Twins fan you could find is probably pretty satisfied with a split of the first two games in Houston.
No doubt about it. And again, it's what we talked about in September. I'll take great pitching over anything else once you head into the playoffs. And last night was a Jack Morris type effort by Pablo Lopez. He was fantastic in shutting down that Astros lineup, giving the Twins exactly what they needed. They got off to a good start. They scored 3 runs in the first 2 innings, and that's all they needed. And it was a fabulous effort last night all the way around.
Twins-Astros best-of-5 divisional series is tied at 1 win apiece. After the boys grabbed the 6-2 win last night. We've been here before, he says?
Yes, well, we have.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they led the Yankees early in a series back in 2002 or 4 or whatever it was.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've been here before, so it's not a guarantee of anything.
No, nothing's guaranteed, by God, Randy Shaver.
But the only thing that is guaranteed that there will be a Game 4. So
yes.
They will play 2 games in Minnesota this week. So
tomorrow afternoon,
that we are guaranteed.
This town is going to be up for grabs.
Oh, for sure.
I cannot wait to watch that sumbitch on my television and see that crowd losing their stinking minds. And, Pablo Lopez, you mentioned. That dude's such a pimp. He had some great stuff last night.
It was phenomenal.
Had some great stuff last night.
And Correa was great in the field last night. I mean, obviously
and at the plate. Correa
yes,
was.
he was tremendous.
He and Pablo were the stars of the show last night.
Yes, for sure.
Kyle Farmer hit a 2-run dong. But real quick, back to Pablo Lopez.
Yeah.
And I think, was it last week we were talking a little bit about announcers who heap a little too much praise on a player and then viewers get annoyed, right?
Yep.
Was it Madison Bumgarner in the booth last night with A.J. Pierzynski?
No, it was Adam Wainwright.
Adam Wainwright. I knew it was one of those two guys. Did anyone else think that Adam Wainwright was maybe going to go down to the Twins' dugout, undress Pablo Lopez, and make love to him?
It seemed that way.
That's okay, though.
Hey, A.J. Pierzynski.
It's not very often where you get announcers fawning over Minnesota players.
I
right?
hear you.
Good point.
It always seems like it's the opposite of that.
They're usually against us. As we all know, the announcers are against us. Hey, A.J. Pierzynski he hasn't missed many meals since he retired from baseball.
He's living it up.
Wapple said.
He looks like Wolverine.
Yeah, he does.
Looks like a guy I went to high school with. And that's not good.
Actually, both those guys do a really good job.
All right, okay. Wainwright and A.J.?
I think they do a really good job. I really do. I think they're easy to listen to, and they're very insightful, and I think they do a good job.
I had a word to describe last night's home plate umpire, Randy Shaver. Tell me if you agree with it.
Sure.
The word
Inconsistent.
The word was iffy. Iffy.
Yeah, about the same thing.
Oh my damn!
Well, the strike zone, you weren't really quite sure exactly what it was what it was supposed to be last.
I mean, first inning, eighth inning, ninth inning, the whole ball game, the whole way.
He was consistently inconsistent.
You did not know what to expect from the guy last night, and I said, and I'm not normally
and for both teams.
Of course, yeah, I'm that's what I'm talking about. And I said earlier, I'm surprised that both dugouts didn't get on this guy's ass a little more. You saw a little jaw jacking from the Astros early in the game. And I'm the last guy who goes after the umpires. I don't want to see automatic umpires. I don't. I know Dick Bramer, I think he wants it. We'll talk to Dick tomorrow. He might have a comment on yesterday's home plate umpire. But that was a great showing last night. And Duran looked dominant in the ninth.
He is going to be dominant. If you get to Duran, you're in trouble because he is as locked in as any closer right now in baseball.
Framber Valdez, the starter for Houston last night, he's a damn good pitcher. That's impressive to get after him.
Yeah.
Impressive.
And they got after him early, which is kind of what they talked about last night. That's the guy, you don't want him to settle in. It's like Verlander. You don't want him to settle in. You got to get after him right at the very beginning because once they start to settle in and get a rhythm going, they're going to be hard to beat at that point. I heard him say last night that if it goes to a Game 5, Verlander would be Game 5 for the Astros, and Lopez would be Game 5 for the Twins.
That's going to stress me out. But let's just knock out 2 wins here in Minnesota and piss on Game 5.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's the plan, right, at this point. And
Sonny Gray out there tomorrow doing all that grunting and groaning. I know some of you ladies love that.
Then I think it'll be Joe Ryan in Game 4. And then we'll see about Game 5. So. Twins are in a far better place than the Orioles, for example. Baltimore, the best team in the American League, and they're down 2-0.
They're getting
going to
pumped.
Texas. They are. Their pitching staff, which was really good during the course of the year, has just gotten pummeled twice by a Rangers offense. So.
They're getting pumped. 11-8.
Then the Braves and Dodgers both get beat in Game 1, too.
Well,
so
good.
You never know, man.
The Dodgers got crushed.
Good.
Kershaw just got filleted.
I love to see it.
Just shellacked.
And it fired up the internet. You know, Clayton Kershaw's been one of the best pitchers in the big leagues for how many years now, Randy Shaver? 15 years?
Easy.
And Dodger fans lit him up on social media. He's a playoff bum. He chokes every time it counts, all that kind of stuff.
Just disappointing, embarrassing. You know, I think I just feel like you let everybody down. You know, guys, whole organization that looked to you to pitch well in Game 1, and it's just embarrassing, really. There's nothing health-related here, just bad pitching.
Bad pitching. So Texas, like you mentioned, is up 2-0 in the best-of-5 over Baltimore. Tonight, the Phillies and Braves play their Game 2. I don't know why the hell they had a night off between Game 1
Well,
and
I think they're starting to stagger them now. They're starting to stagger the AL and the NL.
Stupid. Diamondbacks and Dodgers play Game 2 tonight. Now, back to the Twins real quick, because we didn't really talk about Saturday's game. Was anyone surprised by Bailey Ober starting the game?
I was.
Oh, yeah,
I was
definitely.
very surprised.
Okay, so then I wasn't alone. What's going on with Jimmy, Joey, Frankie, Ryan?
I think they looked at the schedule and said, okay, what is Game 4? Who would you want in Game 4? I think that's the decision was Ober and Ryan.
Okay.
One's going to pitch Game 1. One's
Okay.
going to pitch Game 4.
They thought maybe Joey would be more comfortable here at home.
I suppose.
Okay.
I guess. But Ober, obviously, I think was the first pitch, and Altuve planted one in the left field.
That's what he does. You know,
and then that Alvarez is unbelievable. The left-handed batter for the Astros.
It doesn't matter where you throw it. If he makes contact,
he's a monster.
Yes, he is. You guys know I'm still swinging from Kenta's jock, and I know Kenta pitched a little bit in Game 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If I'm Rocco, I start that guy, but there's reasons why I'm not Rocco. Astros fans have been ripped up and down on social media for booing Carlos Correa. People don't get it. I saw one text that said, booing a man who was an integral part of a World Series team is something.
Ever since he threw the one to Carlos Correa that he hit off the left center field wall, he hasn't thrown a ton, and they haven't been good when he has thrown.
A lot of boos for Correa, who drove in the game's first run in the first.
That's just typical homers being homers.
Yeah.
And I've never understood that across the board, Okay, fine, he took a few more bucks to come here and play in Minnesota, Carlos Correa. What are you so butthurt about? You had an unbelievable team with him on the club. How many World Series did they win with Carlos Correa? 1 or 2?
Two, I think.
What's the problem?
Yeah.
But you see that all the time. He used to play here, now he doesn't. Boo! It just doesn't, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't make any sense. But homers are homers like that.
Back to Brzezinski, it always made me laugh when Twins fans would boo him. I get it when you play for the White Sox, but it's like we got Joe Nathan, Francisco Liriano, and Boof Bonser for that dude. We should be cheering. We should build a statue of him outside Target Field or the Metrodome.
With a big plate of spaghetti in front of him, Wapple said.
It was
big plate of spaghetti and meatballs.
It was sweet, too, because last night, you hear him booing Correa, bases are loaded, all of a sudden he slaps one right out to the middle and gets a double.
Dude, that was beautiful.
That was awesome.
It was.
Loved it.
Smoked that baseball. Oh, man.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the Giants and the Mets are both sitting there shaking their heads like, okay, what did we do? I assume your medical decision on Correa was based on a lot of different things, but the Twins took obviously a chance, or at least maybe according to the Mets and Giants took a chance on signing Correa, but he has turned out to be, obviously, right now, I wouldn't want anybody other than Correa in the middle of that batting lineup right now.
And boy, is he just firing the ball across the infield.
He's amazing.
Terrific play on the last out. That was a terrific stab.
Jump on his back, boys, because he is dialed in to carry this team right now.
All right, this is funny. A listener by the name of Eric texted in and said, Framber Valdez, the starter for the Astros last night, is a clone of Carlos Silva, but with less sex appeal. That's an interesting take on... Randy Shaver, you used to love it when Carlos Silva was starting a game for the Twins. You had a little slogan you always shouted out at us.
I don't remember it.
You would always say, Carlos Hi-yo Silva.
The big sweat.
Your memory's starting to go. That's what your wife said on Friday when we met up with her.
She did say that a couple times.
We met up with Lady Ass Man on Friday.
We
for
sure
a little...
did.
Oh God, don't call her that. That's not a good thing to do. Don't do that.
Do you guys? What is the deal with you? Every time we talk about your wife, you are just on eggshells.
No, I'm not.
Why does she scare you so much? She's a nice lady.
Scare me? I think she does a good job of scaring you.
Me?
Yes.
It was a bit contentious.
It was.
Yes.
Yes.
I must say.
Did I look nervous or scared at all?
A little bit, yeah.
You'd have to bring in 10 Roseannes to scare me. Jesus Christ. I don't know what's the matter with you guys. Hey, our bro Chris Lindahl purchased a bunch of billboards down in Houston to piss everybody off down there.
That's sweet.
He did that with the Vikings game, too. Was it when
Philly?
they played Philly?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He put some billboards down there And I hate this Mattress Mac gimmick that they've got in Houston. He's betting 100. I don't care. But anyway, that's who Lindahl, I guess, is kind of poking at here. He purchased 45 billboards.
Dang.
That's about
How does he?
Jesus.
Really wanted to
That's
make
like
sure they found it.
what I see between here and when I enter the freeway.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
So he purchased about 3,000 less than he has in the Twin Cities. Lindahl purchased 45 billboards around the Houston airport and the ballpark that say, "Hey, Mattress Mac, you've never seen twins like this. Love, Chris Lindahl."
We've mentioned it before. Lindahl is a hilarious dude. If you get to know him,
most
he's got an
definitely.
awesome sense of humor.
I like him. I do. By God, I do. All right, back to the Phillies now, who are playing tonight against the Braves. This is something I wanted to get to a couple of days ago, but, this happens and that happens. What a nice deal this was. I thought that Phillies and Eagles fans, I thought that Philadelphia sports fans were just all, heartless animals.
That's a reputation they have for sure.
They do. Game 1, where was this? Did they play in the wild card round?
Yeah.
Yeah, who'd they play in the wild card round?
Question. Boy, I was watching that too.
Oh, it was Miami.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, during one of those wild card games against Miami, a Phillies fan walked smooth into the ballpark and bought 2 rounds of beer for everyone in section 103. Now, they say here that section has 352 seats and drinks cost between $12 to $16. The fan probably spent around $9,000.
Jeez.
An anonymous buyer just decided to hook up an entire section with 2 Steve Weisers each.
That's awesome.
The folks in 103, they didn't know who it was. They didn't care.
No, you usually don't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, one of the guys, a couple people did know who he was.
I was wrong. It says here they know who the anonymous buyer is and that he's always been a nice guy who doesn't want credit for his generosity.
That's sweet.
Mm-hmm. I like people do things not to get go viral or get attention for it, just doing it to be a good person.
Buying a couple rounds of Steve Weisers for your friends never hurt anybody, although a couple of my pals act like it could kill them.
Right.
To buy a friggin' round.
As they try to reach into their pocket with their gator arms.
Randy Shaver, I ain't kidding you. I drink with a couple
I've got
of guys.
a few of those friends.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
I know a couple guys at the Wayzata.
I got a few kids that are like that, too.
Cheap bastards. Ungrateful, aren't they, Randy?
No.
Ungrateful.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
And you, I mean, if you guys, you think the kids are bad, you should meet the wife. But I got a couple of buddies. We're convinced that they look through the window at the American Legion in Wayzata from the outside in to watch, to see who's reaching into their wallet, pocket. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they walk in and go, "Oh, you're buying one? Sure, I'll take." You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I've even seen them looking through the window.
That's awesome.
There's one old timer though. Eugene, Josh knows Eugene. Eugene did this to me once. He's notorious. Cheaper than a son of... One night, this was not at the Legion. This was at a different bar further down the road. And I'm there with a lady. We had just wrapped up a couple of drinkies and some dinner. And I'm paying the bill. I think I had my pen out and I'm signing the receipt, whatever they call it in the business. Sure. I see Eugene out of the corner of my eye. This guy's older than the hills, and he's into a slow jog coming into the place because he sees that I'm almost ready to pay the bill, and he hollers out, "Scotch and water," hoping I would buy him one before I closed out my tab.
Oh, God.
Did you?
I think I did.
Yeah.
You can't say no to Eugene.
No.
He's too much of a character.
Such a friendly guy. Well, this was kind of a snafu here. The Arizona Diamondbacks, okay, they're playing in L.A. tonight, and then they'll go home for a couple of games in their series against the most overrated rock band of all time, Guns N' Roses, had to change venues for their concert in Arizona Wednesday night because the Diamondbacks have to host the Dodgers in Game 3 of their National League Divisional Series. No one expected the Diamondbacks to still be playing ball in the second week of October.
Yeah, that's kind of insulting.
I'm more impressed that Guns N' Roses can fill a baseball stadium.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they sell out every. It's ridiculous.
Still though, I didn't know they still.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
It doesn't make any sense to me because they had one insanely good first record, followed by a couple of 3 records made up of mostly filler. But yeah, they were scheduled to perform at the D-backs ball field. Now they're going to have to go ahead and play some joint called the Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. Get out of the way, Axl Rose. The Diamondbacks are trying to win some playoff games here.
And they're off to a good start. So.
Oh, yes, they are. And back to that Rangers-Orioles series. In Game 1, there in Baltimore, the game was briefly interrupted as a tiny little man wearing nothing but tiny little underwears and matching black socks ran onto the field.
This is up on 93x.com.
This guy was just the littlest guy.
Yeah.
Was it
Small.
the ghost of Earl Weaver?
It was not.
He was very compact, that's for sure.
But he was about the same size as Earl Weaver. It kind of reminded me of Marco Stunt or some of those other little television wrestlers, Wapple.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is very undersized out there? Like the Meat Man.
Yeah.
What the hell's his real name? The Meat Man from the Dark Order. Why can't we think of his name?
Oh, Johnny Hungy.
Johnny Hungy. Yeah.
Joshy also hungry. Very hungry. No breakfast.
So this tiny little dude, and I'm talking tiny little underwears, jumps onto the ball field, and they had to shut her down for a little while. Now, Randy Shaver, his underwears had a new slogan on it that I hadn't heard before, printed on his drawers.
I don't know how you could even read them. They were so tiny.
Well, internets, they do investigatory work. The slogan on his drawers said, "Virginity rocks." Now, Wapple, is that true?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, you're very recently not a virgin. How'd you like it for the first 24 years of your life?
Did it rock?
Oh, it was absolutely beautiful. Everything you could hope for.
Do you miss it?
No.
Really?
A little bit of you must miss it.
Virginity rocks, it said on his drawers. He was taken down pretty easily and quickly.
Yeah,
But
looks like it.
he had an interesting haircut.
Yeah.
Among other things.
Looks like he banged up his head pretty good, too.
He banged up his head?
It looks like it.
Oh, when they knocked him down, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was when he knocked him down or what, but he's got an owie on there.
Oh, no. Hey, Taco Bell announced the return of their Steal a Base, Steal a Taco gimmick for this year's World Series.
Maybe this will be the year that I finally take him up on that offer.
You never have?
I always say I'm going to, and I end up never doing it.
Yeah,
I
same
always
here.
do.
I forget almost immediately after I'm told.
You might want to look into the details. It sounds like you got to have an app or a membership or something. Or I have no idea how to do any of that, and maybe I'm the only guy who doesn't get it. It's a fun deal. I enjoy celebrating the first stolen base in the World Series the last few years. Just knowing that maybe someone like Cubby's going to get a free taco, it's exhilarating.
That makes your day.
All right, now the Vikings, Randy.
Yes, sir.
Well, they couldn't quite get her done. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs by 7. Did they fumble on the first play of the game?
They
Sure
did.
did.
They did.
And it was a good play.
Why
until
would
that.
you fumble on the first play of the game?
That was one
to
of
set
those
the
board.
tone.
Yeah.
Just set the tone. Yeah, manage expectations. Think of the home crowd.
Continue, in your habits.
That was one of those, no moments.
I couldn't help but laugh. I just thought the whole thing was hilarious.
Yeah.
People are telling me here on the text machine that Virginity Rocks is a slogan from a clothing line from somebody on YouTube. Oh, okay? So it's a clothing. So this little miniature person was doing an ad.
Miniature.
Well, he's a small person. So the Vikings lost by 7. They turned her over from square one. It says here Patrick Mahomes had his most efficient performance of the season.
I don't think Mahomes was really the story of the game.
What was the story? I didn't see the game.
I think the Vikings' clock management in the fourth quarter was horrible.
That was so bad.
Really
I
bad.
think their just inefficiency yesterday was really the story. They should have won the football game. And, this was a game that was winnable. The Chiefs were not very sharp. The Vikings had all sorts of opportunities to do something, and then Jefferson gets hurt and misses, a lot of the fourth quarter, and it was just a mismanaged opportunity yesterday.
It's amazing how many NFL teams F up the clock management. I think they should honestly just get a kid who plays 60 hours of Madden a week and have him on the sidelines for a halftime and fourth quarter to run the clock for him.
Yeah, when we called that first timeout in the second half, I was like, that's going to come back to bite us in the butt.
Sure.
I think the announcers even said that.
Yeah,
well,
they
then
did.
the catch by Kelsey was a catch. Why would you even challenge that? I mean, the only way that the ball was taken away from him was after the play was dead. I just don't understand who's telling him to challenge something like that.
You know what I saw a lot of people talking about on that godless social media was the $1 billion tight end with the hair flowing.
Hawkinson dropped 3
How come he
passes.
can't catch a football? I thought you were $1 billion tight end. And get a haircut, some of the people said.
My mom is that one. She says it the whole time. She says that they'll win if he gets his haircut.
That's the secret?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Well, just last week we were talking about the Jim Nantz announcer jinx.
Well, yeah,
and that continues.
That exists too.
So they had a chance to, tie her up, but they were out of timeouts. Captain Deathrock's got sacked there on their last breath.
Well, I mean, it's a Hail Mary for a reason. You got to throw the ball up. You can't get sacked. I mean, there's just, but that was the last straw of so many problems that the Vikings had. It was a winnable football game for them. The Chiefs did not blow them away. This was not a one-sided game. The Vikings had all sorts of chances to win a game that they clearly were not predicted to win, and they just couldn't get out of their own way. They just could not.
How come the one kid didn't get a penalty for taking his helmet off?
Yeah.
Well, that too.
That
And
was another conversation.
There were other referee conversations about the game, but if you're blaming the refs for the loss, that's the wrong place to look. The Vikings had all sorts of opportunities. The clock management was just a big issue. They had 0 timeouts with 9 minutes left in the game.
It's unbelievable.
In a close game, they had 0 timeouts left.
And
which
then
just doesn't make any sense.
Jefferson Darcy, the wide receiver. Can't think of his first name.
Justin.
How come he can't keep his hamstrings working?
Well,
I'm kidding. Next up, they take on the Chicago Bears,
who actually played very well the other day. So.
If the Bears win, they leapfrog the Vikings in the standings.
Yeah, they're both tied at 1-4. Yeah.
Is there any chance
the Lions just dominated. The Lions are, as we've said before the season even started, this team is just built to do something big this year.
Is there any chance that Coach O'Connor's looking into maybe Tanner Morgan taking some snaps in that Bears game?
I don't think so. Quarterback was not the issue for the Vikings. Quarterback was not the issue.
That was a good one.
Gosh.
That would be funny to watch.
Bug-Eye Wagon Jesus said, watching Cousins get sacked on the last-ditch play of the game directly on top of the Vikings logo, just the icing on the cake. That kind of summed up the game.
Yep.
So, yesterday the Lions whooped a llama's ass. The Miami Dolphins beat New York, the New York Giants. They passed the St. Louis Rams from the year 2000 for the most yards gained through the first 5 games of a regular season. They're just piling up yards.
Yards don't necessarily
like Josh's
equal
mom
wins,
piles up.
but pretty good.
Prayers.
Good deeds.
Yes, good deeds. Yeah. What do you mean it doesn't often equal wins? They won the game, didn't they?
They did, but sometimes it doesn't equal victories when you're piling up yards between the 20s and you're not scoring.
Okay. Folks are calling for Bill Belichick to be fired.
I was just going to say, that's the story of the day yesterday.
Now we're having fun.
The story of the day yesterday is the fact that the Patriots in the last 2 weeks have given up, what's the total? Like 74 points or something?
Yeah.
They've been outscored like 74-3 or something?
Giving up back-to-back 30-point games for the first time since 1970.
Yeah.
And I thought the Dallas Cowboys were supposed to be good.
Oh, my. They just got pummeled.
They did, 42 to tonight, Green Bay and Las Vegas. Well, the battle for the little brown jug between the Golden Gopher Football Club
That was a battle? How was that game, actually?
That hurt. That was painful.
Not a battle. It wasn't even close to a battle.
That
What
was
it
like,
was?
we have the jug. Here you go.
You know what it was, Randy Shaver?
Why even bring the jug to Minnesota? Just leave it in Ann Arbor.
I was there, and it wasn't so much a battle as it was a live televised fisting.
I talked to a buddy who went to the game. I said, "Hey, man, how was the game?" And he just goes, "The tailgate was fun."
So here's a stat that just I was, and I watched the game like doing other things and watched the game. Of course, it got out of hand early, and it was whatever. But in the second half, the Gophers ran the 27 plays, including punts.
Yes.
They only threw the ball 5 times despite being down double digits the entire half.
Yeah, they haven't quite figured out the forward pass.
In the fourth quarter, they rushed the ball. They ran the ball 11 times. Did not throw the ball in the fourth quarter. Down how many points they were?
Well, at that point, they were down by 40 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least,
it's something to work on.
Show something. I mean,
No, I'm with you. And
amazing.
You want to talk about poor clock management. At the end of the first half, I still don't know what the hell was going on at the end of the first half, where they luckily got that touchdown pass to Daniel Jackson, but they sat around fingering themselves for a minute and a half. I have no idea what was happening there. No one did. Everyone in the section I was sitting in, what are you doing here? They just got absolutely pumped by stupid-ass Jim Harbaugh and the stupid-ass Michigan Wolverines. They don't look so good, especially with that forward pass. They just can't get that right.
At least they got a touchdown. That's good.
Better than nothing. That's the bar we're trying to cross.
Well,
At least they got a touchdown is where we're going with this?
The people I were with, they're season ticket holders, so they're huge Gopher fans, and that was what they said. Like, all right, at least let's just get some points on the board. Make us happy-ish.
Happy.
That's all you can ask for. Happy-ish.
They currently rank 130th in the country in passing.
yes. This is 7 years into PJ Fleck's run here at Minnesota.
Okay.
And they were one of the worst passing teams in the country.
I'm not trying to pick on a kid, but this Kaliak Manis, I thought he was, the rocket arm type character that we've been waiting on. And early in the season, we did see evidence of what this. But here's the thing. I was at the game. The kid could not get comfortable at all. He had no chance to settle himself. And the Golden Gophers offensive line was absolutely run over.
And be honest, I mean, every position the Gophers were outmanned at every position.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Michigan, they're just so dang good across the board at every position, and they're so well coached. And
they're not well coached.
I would say they're well coached.
Yeah, well, you'd be wrong. By the way, I was at a tailgate party, too, before the ball game, and I saw something I've never seen before, Josh.
What's that?
I saw a man, he rode his bicycle through the tailgate party, and he had 2 cats on his back.
Love that.
Who hung on to him.
Like not in some sort of carrier,
No,
just hanging on?
standing on his back, a cat on each shoulder.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
No, a man on a bicycle with a cat on each shoulder.
What was it like? Did you get a chance to talk to the coolest guy at the tailgate party? Or
I did not. He was surrounded by all the college girls who wanted to get with him, of course.
Oh, smart kid.
He wasn't a kid. He was like 67 years old.
It was like Old Blue.
And the cats looked quite comfortable with this. They must take plenty of bicycle. Josh,
It's probably not their first rodeo.
No.
They've been there before.
Cubby, we should have driven down to Ames, Iowa this past weekend to the Iowegian State ball game.
Well, you're not kidding.
They had one of our favorite gimmicks during the halftime show. They had a pile of people wearing the inflatable dinosaur costumes.
Prehistoric display here, Alex. Look at that. Look at all those raptors taking the field. Are those raptors or little T-Rex?
I think that
either way, you know what's really hard for them?
Yeah.
Push-ups. Look at those little arms.
Josh and I have been fans of the inflatable dinosaur costume from the word go.
They're so cute. This is up on 93x.com.
I loved the skeleton one.
Yeah, that was my favorite too.
In his little Halloween outfit.
Yeah.
It says here the dinosaurs performed a dance while the marching band played the Jurassic Park theme song. Life finds a way, doesn't it, Josh?
It does.
It's giving me flashbacks to your wedding, Ashley.
Yeah.
Flashbacks to what?
Her wedding.
Oh, that's right. That's what you walked down the aisle
does, yeah.
Will you do the theme from Jurassic Park 2 at your next wedding?
Oh, I have to, right?
They did make like 6 of them, so you're set for a while.
Or, Josh, we should have gone to Madison to see that sideline photographer's penis and testicles get pummeled into dust by an incomplete forward pass.
That
was
poor
so
guy.
bad.
That was really bad.
He ain't wearing a cup, brother.
I watched that video
so did I.
77 times in a row.
Oh,
Couldn't have been
back
more perfect.
to back.
And I watched the alternate angles, too. I had to see everything.
Is this up on our website?
Yes, it is.
This will disturb some, but some of you will want to watch it over and over and over again like I did. You saw it, Randy Shaver?
I did.
A photographer working the Wisconsin-Rutgers game. His name is Ethan Bacon. He's standing on the sideline with his camera. A pass sails out of bounds, and it one-hopped into this poor bastard's gear. And it was absolutely awesome. Find that video. If you haven't seen it, find it on our website. Save it on your phone. You're going to want to save it. Because it was that beautiful. This Bacon guy said after the game it hurt for about 40 minutes.
Oh.
I can imagine.
Well, but I've been hitting the pills plenty of times. It never hurt for 40.
Oh.
But we found out that my gear is maybe tougher than most, didn't we, Josh?
Yeah, you have a very thick scrotum, that is for sure.
Oh, my
That'll
God.
protect you from errant footballs.
He said it hurt for about 40 minutes, but now it's all good and it's a funny story to tell.
How about the guy standing behind him who just puts his hand out like, oh, boy. I'll bet you that hurt.
Better you than me.
Yeah, exactly.
People are
Oh,
texting in, Nick, the cat guy that you saw, the guy biking at the tailgate party for the Gophers with the cats on his back.
Yes.
He was also at the Vikings game, and I guess he was at a soccer game as well.
This is what he does.
Yeah, he just kind of hangs out at the tailgate.
He was wearing a Reggie Bush New Orleans Saints jersey. So random. And when he crossed our path, I said it is kind of fitting that he's wearing a New Orleans Saints jersey because that's the type of thing you normally see in New Orleans. You really do. You see characters like that all over the place in New Orleans. They got an iguana on their hat, and they got a pit bull, and that's New Orleans for you. So he does the rounds.
That cameraman, there's another quote. I don't know, just from, I guess, it was like 10,000 miles per hour coming at me.
Oh,
It was cruising.
yes.
Boy, it hit the ground and just hopped up into his pills. Oh.
Got bacon right in the sausage, didn't
Yeah.
it?
Mm-hmm.
He said the problem was it was a perfect spiral.
Yes.
I've never seen a camera guy get taken out like that, but I did see a mascot at a high school game get taken out pretty bad, and I felt bad for the person, but there is something hilarious about seeing a mascot get carted off the field
really?
in the full mascot costume.
Were you sure it wasn't a gimmick?
No, he broke his leg. It was
Because
pretty
either
bad.
way, he broke it.
I thought it was a nut shot.
yeah.
Oh no! He he had his back to the field, getting the crowd going, and
Can't do that.
nope.
Oh, I thought we were talking pill shots too.
No,
Yeah.
I wish.
I mean, like it's been a while since I've been to a Golden Gopher hockey home game. But for about 10 years straight, every game, Goldie would walk along the boards and then slip and raunch his balls on the and then he'd slowly tip over onto the ice, Yep. It's a great bit. Great bit. He's dancing, walking along the boards. We're going to have a great time tonight. Oh, one more college football note. If there's anyone out there who thinks the Vikings could use some help on defense, they should look into calling that referee from the Boston College Navy football game over the weekend, because that dude knows how to put the smacketh down.
Castellanos keeps, shimmies, and bumps into the umpire. Wow, a big collision. This nice moves by
Biggest crowd pop of the whole ball game. Army's playing Boston College in college football over there. That would make sense. College football. Eagles quarterback, as you heard there, Thomas Castellanos. He ran the ball up the middle, and he had some room. But he didn't see our guy wearing stripes hanging around, and the ref put him on his ass.
He did. It was pretty incredible. The other guy's wearing pads. He just bounced right off him.
Looking like Steve Atwater, Randy Shaver.
This is up on 93x.com.
I'm checking it out.
Or Ronnie Lott or Joey Browner. one of those hard-hitting safeties from back when the game was still real and not this flag football nonsense.
Oh, he just gave him a shoulder.
That's right. Sat him down.
He tried to get out of the way. He's laughing about it,
Yeah,
too.
looked like he felt bad.
I don't know if the quarterback was
I'm like
laughing.
40 years older than you are, and I just knocked you down.
He is a big dude, though.
All right, in closing here. Gamers. I'm surrounded by gamers. You guys all like to play the video games.
Yeah.
Sure do.
Are you pumped about this here now? And I do know a thing or two about this setup. NASCAR is announcing the return to the video game world.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I've never played it, but I've heard so many people say it's awesome.
Yeah.
People that aren't even into NASCAR, they love the game.
My dad used to play it, and he liked it quite a bit. Quite a bit. He made this little table actually to put like a steering wheel and
did you really?
and like the gas pedals underneath. It was cute.
I've never played the NASCAR games. I prefer my racing games to have banana peels and turtle shells.
Yeah, you are a Mario Kart guy.
Mm-hmm.
I always went backwards in NASCAR and then got in big crashes.
Of course,
That was fun.
Wapple. Of course. All you want to do when you play video games is cause harm and destruction.
You are a psychopath with video games.
Do you need to talk about anything?
I mean, it's kind of disturbing.
I put injuries all the way up.
He's a troubled kid. I remember back in the day I had some kind of video game set up, and I bought a game, NASCAR. I think it was 2002. Jesus criminy. It was 20 years ago. And I dug it. So NASCAR had an EA Sports deal for a while, but they stopped developing those games in 2009. Right. They hooked up with someone called Motorsport Games, and it didn't seem like NASCAR fans really liked what Motorsport Games brought to the mix. So they stopped producing games altogether, but now there's a new NASCAR game. It won't be coming out until 2024 or 5.
I think that's when the college game comes out, too.
Not till 2025, but at any rate, fans of NASCAR and NASCAR video games are happy to hear this news.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever do the simulator at the Mall of America when it was there, the NASCAR simulator?
No.
Fun.
One time.
Yeah, just one time for me as well. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
I bet.
It was fun, though. There was one guy that was dominating. I mean, he was killing everybody in there. And I saw him finally come out of the little, fake vehicle. It was a Catholic priest in his full gear.
Oh.
And the guy working there said he comes in all the time on the weekends and just dominates. He beats everybody.
That's cool.
What an interesting life.
I know.
I thought you were going to say it was Dale Jarrett or Ken Schrader or Rusty Wallace.
No,
or
it was
something.
your local
Dick
Catholic
Trickle.
priest.
Yeah.
Dick Trickle.
Yeah, Father Earnhardt there, he was dominating.
Oh, you know what they went with? Remember during COVID, NASCAR put on the simulated races, like what we're talking about.
Yes.
Do you guys remember seeing that on television?
Yeah.
I really, really liked that. That was a lot of fun to watch. Folks just sitting there. Some of them were professional racers. Some of them were just professional gamers. But they just sitting in their home with their elaborate home setup. I thought that was fun to watch. So, yeah, I have a couple of buddies who were so into the old NASCAR driving games in the early 2000s. They treated it, they put it on all real. They'll race every lap, pit stops.
Oh, wow.
All that stuff. They'd sit there for hours playing the real, because, you could go 10 laps, 20 laps, whatever.
Yeah.
They went full on each and every time.
Dubbed famous Mises said, if you can get out and beat somebody that wiped you with your head, start beating him with the helmet, he's going to get it. He'll buy that.
I'll tell you what. Oh, that'd be great too. Yeah, the way they operate in the pit sometimes, punching each other in the mouth.
It seems like you keep hearing that lately.
Well, there you go, Randy Shaver. That ought to do it for a Monday. I thought you gave just about as much as you can give.
Well, thank you.
Do you feel spent?
No, I feel actually good. I could keep going. Let's keep going.
Well, we're going to talk about pornos and dildos and such coming up
I'm
next.
out.
Oh, you got to go.
I'm out.
We'll talk to you tomorrow, Randy.
See ya.
Thank you very much. Coming up next, we'll talk pornos and dildos.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
And now is a great time to join their team. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians, dedicated to improving the work-life balance of their employees by providing benefits that include parental leave and 401k match. Apply today at standardheating.com.
In 1995, veteran police officer Michael Chappell was convicted of armed robbery and murder and has spent the past 30 years in prison. The true crime podcast, In the Land of Lies, explores the untold side to this story, one that could prove Michael Chappell is actually innocent. See why people are calling In the Land of Lies incredible, phenomenal, and a must-hear podcast. Binge the entire series now, and new episodes are coming soon. Imperative Entertainment presents In the Land of Lies. Get the podcast wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
You got it, by God. We have returned here on the stinking 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Sorry for those of you who were looking forward to a conversation on porno and dildos. I know I sold that topic before the commercials and the little song we played, but we're actually short on pornos and dildo information this morning. But we do have the Aztec death whistle. If that does anything for anybody. The Aztec death whistle. You guys hear about this?
I did, yeah.
Hear about the big discovery or something? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Scientists have recreated the Aztec death whistle, and it's considered the most terrifying sound in the world.
Oh, really?
That's pretty terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, out of nowhere. I mean, you're sitting here in a radio studio. It's not scary, but imagine you're at home late at night. It's all quiet. You just the light of the television, and suddenly, the Aztec. You're in a car. You're parked. You're making out with your significant.
That is terrifying.
This is crazy stuff. But they found this whistle, and as Josh knows, the whistles go woo, woo.
Woo, woo.
And Zack Ryder goes woo, woo, woo.
There was an how do you say that, Josh?
Archaeological.
There was an archaeological dig in Mexico back in 1999.
The whistles go woo.
They go woo, woo. And they found this whistle being, they found like a skeleton, and the whistle was being clutched by a headless skeleton. And they say that this skeleton and the whistle date back to the 1300s. So, wow, what a find. Headless skeleton, some kind of wacky-ass whistle in his grip. And they went ahead and fired up one of those 3D printers to recreate this death whistle. And then posted a video of the whistle on the internet. The folks who put it together, they're a group called the Action Lab. Okay?
That's what I call my bedroom.
The Action Lab.
I remember back in the old days, you called it the workbench.
Yeah.
Didn't you? The workbench.
The arena.
I love that one.
Or if you're on MTV Cribs, you'd always say, oh, this is where the magic happens.
Oh, yeah. NPH, Neil Patrick Harris. Did you see, I can't remember if it was a Cribs or what it was, but he did that. He said, he's bringing everybody in the bedroom. This is where the magic happens. And it was actually, he had a whole magician show ready to go. That was pretty good.
That's hilarious.
So, I can't figure this kind of stuff out. This is a little too deep for me. But they believe that the original Aztec death whistle, the apparatus that was gripped in the hand of this headless skeleton from the year 1300, they believe it was made back in the day to recreate, a human voice, a human larynx. And they think the purpose of this instrument way back in the day was to use this whistle to scare enemies in battle.
Designed to scare the living bejesus out of you. More than likely, it was used by a warrior. You reach for it, you screech, and if you've got 100 guys beside you, each of you screeching, there is no army in the world from this time period that isn't going to just turn tail and run.
Can we play human, what's it called again? Can we play Aztec Death Whistle versus Screaming Goat some morning on the program? If it can't happen this morning, I'd like to play it some other morning.
Is this an Aztec death whistle or a screaming goat?
Mm-hmm.
You tell us.
So now the finish line here with this Aztec death whistle story is these folks used a 3D printer, whatever the hell that is, to recreate the death whistles, and now you can buy them online. So if you want to bring this to your Halloween party or just play a prank on your buddies in the fish house and have them absolutely urinate themselves.
People are texting saying they have made the purchase. They're already familiar with this.
Really?
And they have them.
So what's special about 1,000 hertz? Well, scientists have actually analyzed human screams, and they found that humans scream differently depending on if they're fearful or surprised or excited. And the most fearful screams that humans make has a peak right around the 1,000 hertz ranges.
Yeah, you can get one on Amazon, delivered today for $35.
$35.99.
Now, I recognize that as the goat.
Ah, man. So now, I cleared this with you earlier. Earlier I asked, is it too early to start talking all this Halloween-y, haunted, supposedly scary stuff? And you guys said, no, it's not too early. We can get into it. So I'm going to keep going now. I'm going to keep going, along with the Aztec death whistle. The folks at Reader's Digest, I didn't even know they were still a thing.
Well, I've seen them checking out at a Walgreens or whatever.
Yeah. Reader's Digest. They put together some stuff you Halloween dorks will likely love. You folks who love all the Haunted Mansion tours and what's that silly gimmick called? The Ouija board stuff. You'll probably like this. So, I once went to a Ouija board party.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned that.
You know what happened?
That's why the party was going on, was just for the Ouija board?
Well, I'll explain in a minute, but you know what happened?
Nothing?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But
did you get one person? I was like, what was that? What was that?
Yes.
So you, at least one person?
We sat there for, it was a radio station thing, I had to go. We sat there for hours with this stupid Ouija board and a medium. Is that what they call them, Josh?
Medium.
Medium, supposedly talking to a dead spirit, this and that. Nothing happened for hours, but there were some people who insisted they felt something because they didn't want to admit that it was a total scam.
Yeah.
Reader's Digest has the creepiest urban legends for each and every state in our union. Now, we're not going to cover all of them because I would likely go crazy. But I got the Midwest, and I have to admit, it's pretty interesting stuff. Now, it's likely 100% nonsense, but some of this stuff is really, if this is all made up, whoever wrote it up should be in Hollywood writing movies. They really should. I mean, you tell me if you buy any of this, if you would be interested in seeing any of this, whatever's on your mind. The creepiest urban legends. Let's start with those silly bastards in North Dakota. Look out for I practiced this off air, Josh. How much faith do you have in me that I can knock it out of the park?
Total faith. Unless it's the name of a current athlete. You've been shown not to always do very well with those.
All right. In North Dakota, they speak of the Minawashitu. The Minawashitu. I think I have that right. They say next time you're on the banks of the Missouri River in North Dakota. Never saw it. Keep an eye out for the Minawashitu of North Dakota. Maybe some of you no-dackers are already texting in. You know what the hell I'm talking. It's a giant red hairy monster with sharp spikes along its back, a horn, and only one eye. And they say, Wapple, I see you trembling over there. They say If it looks at you, blindness, insanity, and even death are soon to follow.
I don't want any of those things.
No.
If it looks at you. Oh, God. I was sitting here going, what does that remind me of? It's
Okay, I got to do it now.
stupid scene from that stupid Backdraft movie with stupid Donald Sutherland and that stupid Baldwin brother.
I like Donald Sutherland.
I like them in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But
Did it look at you? Did the fire look at you? It did. Oh.
He sired Jack Bauer. What's not to
Oh,
like?
yeah, I forgot about that.
grown people allowed that scene to remain in the movie, which is otherwise a pretty entertaining movie.
I like it a lot. Kurt Russell's badass in that movie.
That is a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, South Dakota. Walking Sam is who you should be looking out for.
Doesn't sound too scary.
If you're spending time. No, a guy named Sam. Well, I know a guy named Sam. There's nothing scary about him.
Yeah, walking. I could get away from someone that just walks, for sure.
The only thing scary about the Sam that I know is his marijuana intake is a little scary. Walking Sam of South Dakota. Oh, it's a bit like the notorious figure from the Slender Man video games? Video games? I thought Slender Man was...
from like Creepypasta.
Yeah,
I think they do have video games.
Yeah, they do now.
Okay. I remember hearing of the Slender Man. I won't confuse things by
bad
trying...
stories there.
Were there bad...
Oh, yeah.
I won't get into it what I do or don't know about Slender Man because it'll take us away from Walking Sam. But they compare it to Slender Man. They say Walking Sam is an unnaturally tall, skinny, and creepy character. You guys hear that? That might have been Walking Sam right there. Unnaturally tall, skinny, and creepy. If you cross his path, oh no. He induces you to commit suicide.
That's not good. No, no, no.
Sounds like a very influential character. All right, now Wisconsin. We're talking about the creepiest urban legends for each state. But for Wisconsin, they just say, meet somebody in Hudson and you'll know what we're talking about.
That's all you need.
That's it. Just talk to one person and I'm kidding. Wisconsin, the bloody headstone at Riverside Cemetery. Where is this? Appleton. Appleton. And here's the story. A local woman by the name of Kate Blood. They say she killed her husband and 3 children. Ooh. And then she committed suicide. She has a headstone at the Riverside Cemetery in Appleton. And every full moon, it drips blood.
That would be fun to go.
Mm-hmm.
And see nothing.
Would you hang around
just
there?
Wondering if it'll happen.
Yeah.
Crack open a cooler with some beers on a full moon and see if it begins to drip blood?
Root beer, yeah.
The Iowegians are afraid of Stony Hollow Road. The saying as the story goes, oh, Lucinda from the town of Burlington, Iowa. What were they doing? Okay, on Stony Hollow Road, Lucinda's fiancé was supposed to meet her there one night. He promised he would meet her. But, what? He never showed up. Her fiance. Meet me at Stony Boner. What's the place called?
Stony Boner.
Meet me at Stony Hollow Road, she said. And the guy said, yeah, I'll be there. What do you think? I'm some kind of jackass? Of course I'll be there. He never showed up. So what did she do? She threw herself off the bluffs along Stony Hollow Road. She threw herself to her death. Ever since, her ghost has appeared to countless people. Oh no. What's even worse is if she leaves a rose at your feet, you will be dead within 24 hours.
Oh, yeah. A lot of history down that road.
Yeah, that would scare the heck out of me.
Don't do that.
I love that guy in South Park.
Yeah, I do too. I love it.
Well, you know, it's Fred Gwynn from the Pet Cemetery.
Oh, is it?
If you're going to do Fred Gwynn, you better nail it. All right, so we close out here with Minnesota. Anybody have any idea what is the creepiest urban legend in Minnesota?
Yes.
No.
Bet it's in Coon Rapids.
And you knew this before we got to the article, Josh?
Yes, before the article I knew.
Really?
Oh, wonder if it's one I know.
I'm sure you do.
And Dana's right. Coon Rapids is pretty creepy. The Wendigo. No, I said that wrong. The Wendigo?
I thought Wendigo. I can't remember exactly how it's pronounced.
Okay.
Yep,
Wendigo sounds
it's from,
right.
I learned it from the show Supernatural.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. It might even have been like the first couple episodes of the first season.
Ooh, I even got a couple of text messages from listeners who were able to guess, too. The Wendigo. What is this, kitty cat Jesus? I live in the boonies and I hear the... I live in the boonies and hear the voices of my family members out in the cornfields at night.
Wow.
My son pointed out the window the other night and said, "There's a creature out there and he's going to steal your heartbeat." Are you making this up, kitty cat Jesus? Because your household sounds very creepy.
That sounds terrifying.
But kitty cat Jesus says these are very real and annoying, he refers to. Here's the deal with the Wendigo. It's a creature of Native American folklore that is thought to be the result of cannibalism. A person who resorts to cannibalism turns into a Wendigo, a fan-bearing creature that is tall, skeletal, and hairy. Somehow we Minnesotans can turn into Wendigos, and then we crave the flesh of human beings. All right.
I was just reading today that if you ate an entire human being, that's 81,500 calories.
Holy cow.
You're going to put on some weight from that.
That's a lot. No wonder they resort to cannibalism when there's nothing left.
Yeah, you can last for a few months.
Yeah, you can get a couple meals out of that.
Person.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Wow.
So there you go. Other states that have pretty interesting stories. Tennessee has skinned Tom.
Ugh, that doesn't sound good.
He took his lady to Lover's Lane. He didn't know that the woman he was playing around with was married. Her husband shows up, and he skins Tom alive. Folks say that Tom still hangs around Lover's Lane, ready to kill those who dare to commit adultery. Remind me never to go to Tennessee, Josh.
I'm safe.
Or to Lover's Lane. He'll skin people. There's a joint in Washington State called Maltby's 13 Steps to Hell. It's some kind of crypt, and they say if you walk down the sumbitch, you will be met with a vision so terrifying it will drive you to insanity. And then in California, the Charman of San Antonio Creek. Father and son got trapped in a fire many, many years ago. The father died. And before help could arrive, the son was so traumatized he lost his mind. He skinned his father and then ran back into the forest. And now he's forever known as Charman. His black and burnt body is said to attack motorists, and he seeks more human skin. All that is pretty interesting. Again, whoever wrote this stuff up, because I'm not buying a word of it, whoever wrote it up should be given some amount of credit. Don't you agree, Josh?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, love this kind of stuff.
Like you said, I don't buy most of it, but at the same, it does creep me out a little bit.
Do a hell of a lot better than some of the horror movie writers today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think, what's the last really good horror movie?
Boy, I
don't watch a ton of them.
I don't see a lot of them either.
I guess The Nun, that series was really popular. That freaked people out for a while.
Oh, The Nun, yeah.
That's a very good question, Josh. I don't see a lot of them.
Oh, that Megan movie was really popular.
Megan?
Uh-huh.
I don't remember hearing about
That weird
Megan.
robot girl?
Yeah.
I didn't really like that too much, to be honest.
Here's a good one. Smile. That was good.
Oh, yeah. I've heard
was
that's
pretty
good.
good, yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be. And that was pretty good.
You guys smell that? It smells bad out here, too. I'm starting to think this whole town smells like doo-doo.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
That scream that you heard, that was the Aztec death whistle. We've started to get into there it is. We've started to get into some Halloween-type themes around here. We were talking about the Aztec death whistle. Josh, a listener wants to know, if you would be able to set up a little game, the Aztec Death Whistle versus Frau Blucher, this morning on the Half-Assed Morning Show. If you can get around to it.
Just the horse?
Yeah, well, the shouting of Frau Blucher followed by, I don't know what they want. It doesn't really matter. It's just fun to think about. Before we get out of here, Josh, you did ask a question a few minutes ago. What was the last great horror movie? What was the last great horror movie? And it's a tough topic. I don't think it's been that long since we talked about horror movies. It's usually the ones that you've never heard of that are really, really good and really scary. And some of them are, made in Japan, made in Germany, or God knows where. And they are so effed up and so gory that no one wants to put them in theaters over here. Who's going to buy a ticket to something like that, right?
Yeah, every once in a while you hear some film debuted overseas somewhere and people were vomiting and passing out. It was so disturbing.
And it never sees the light of day over here. Maybe on Netflix, or some of you know how to run these movie channels that we have these days. I got a few texts, and then I have an article we can scroll through real quick. Did someone say Sinister when we were last discussing horror movies, or was that?
No, but a lot of people text that in. Same with The Pope's Exorcist.
Oh.
That made it more than a few times.
Oh, yeah. Pope's Exorcist.
The Barbarian. And this is
I've
for
heard
real.
That's disturbing.
I saw a little bit of that, and it was pretty weird. This is not a joke. Apparently, there's a top-notch horror movie out there called Deathgasm.
It does seem like one of those ones you'd see at Sci-Fi late at night.
But here you go, real quick. I can roll through a website called Horror News Network, so they must have some idea what they're talking about. Put together an article, the top 20 horror movies of the past 5 years. So tell me if anyone's bumped into one of these. If you haven't, I can tell you this much. I'm looking at just a still photograph from each of these movies listed in the top 20 horror movies of the last 5 years. And it does, if a still photograph does anything for you, some of them look kind of creepy. Here's one simply called A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. Big Bad Wolves. Starry Eyes. And yes, that was a song off Motley Crue's Too Fast for Love record from 1982. Now, I disagree with this because I watched this. The Babadook is a baba pile of horse feces.
I've heard that's good. It's not.
Stupid. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible and boring.
So dumb.
Good Night Mommy. Sounds kind of creepy. There's a couple of creepy-looking kids. It looks like maybe they're staring at mommy while she's asleep. I saw this one, too, and it was hard to follow because of the accents. The Witch. There's a very, very popular blonde actress in the movie. Josh, I think you've said wah wah wee wah once or twice to this blonde actress. Maybe I can find her name.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh, Anya Taylor-Joy, yes.
The Witch. It's kind of creepy, but I couldn't follow what was going on.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
You know what I'm talking about, Beth.
Follow her anywhere.
Green Room.
Taylor-Joy. She is wonderful.
Yes. Raw. I remember us talking about that. Kids eating each other's skin. The Autopsy of Jane Doe, The Eyes of My Mother, The Girl with All the Gifts, The Greasy Strangler.
Ew. How would that even work?
Wouldn't you be disappointed if you're like, God, the Greasy Strangler killed me?
Kind of sounds like a euphemism for masturbation, doesn't it?
The cover is so odd, too.
That does sound like a euphemism for masturbation. What'd you do last night? Had a little one-on-one with the Greasy Strangler.
Boy, look at the actors who are in this. Like the guy who plays Big Ronnie, the guy who plays Big Paul. There's a Big Braden, a lot of bigs. The guy who plays Oinker.
Are they less than attractive people?
They
Or?
just kind of have an odd look to them.
Yeah.
There's another movie that came out a few years ago called The Love Witch, Train to Busan, Anna and the Apocalypse, The Lure. I
Here's
see,
one of the
I see
actors.
naked people underwater in The Lure, if that does anything for you. Oh, these are very interesting looking characters for this movie.
Yeah, for the Greasy Strangler, they're kind of odd.
Here's
looking.
one, again, the list of best horror movies from the last 5 years. Here's one called Monsters! Sounds very Scooby-Doo-like. But there you go, just to give you an idea. And I know the texts are rolling in on what people like.
I'm so behind on horror movies. I just saw the original Saw for the first time over the weekend.
Oh yeah, you'd never seen that
I'd never
before.
seen it, no.
Never see Saw?
Never see Saw.
I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, it was better than I expected it to be.
I gave up after one of those, but yeah, I didn't have a problem with the original Saw.
I watched the first maybe 3.
I want to go back to one of the movies that we talked about in the beginning, The Barbarian. You said you watched that, Josh?
No, I've heard it's disturbing.
Is that the one where a lady is spending the night at a bed and breakfast and then in the basement? I saw it, I don't know, hour, 45 minutes. Yes.
So, like, I don't know if you remember the ending, but I went and saw it in theaters, and I remember sitting there like, what in the world was this?
I didn't catch the ending. I just saw a little bit of the setup, and then I fell into unconsciousness.
It's a crazy movie, though. I recommend it to people because you're sitting there the whole time kind of just like, what is happening?
Good night, Frau Blucher.
I think Frau Blucher wins again. Absolutely.
How could she not? She's fantastic. Happy birthday to Maintenance Messiah from Giant Firefighter Jesus, and have a great Monday.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians. Apply today at standardheating.com.